Okay, we're learning a new system. So that was weird and wild, and I wish the audio had kept playing after fading it off, but whatever. We have things to figure out. We're getting there, but we're trying out a new system to play around with things. For the moment, we don't need it's pretty obvious who has the microphone right now. Welcome, everybody, to a special event tonight where we are going to be taking calls. And so if you are interested in calling in and telling us what's what, in fact, Arden, if you in the background will make sure that the part with the phone number and the link gets put into the description. I don't think we actually have that, I just realized. But you can call us at 720-619-2288. That is 720-619-2288. Or use the link that will be in the description so that you can challenge us on whether or not God exists or whether or not we should have organizations. Actually, one that could be a little bit better and themed for today would be, should we not have, because we would be really looking for the opposition, if you believe we should not have atheist, secular, a-religious, non-religious organizations that seek to build up community and help people who are, for example, leaving religion and looking for a community outside of religion that is explicitly a-religious, call in and tell us what you think that would do to us, what you think that would do to society, why your best argument against that, what your best argument against that would be. I'm going to bring in the guests here in a moment, but I want to first explain to you what we're doing here. This is a pre-show for our big fundraiser event tomorrow, where we will be playing a bunch of games. I've been working on all of that all day. I think you are going to be thoroughly entertained tomorrow. We're going to be bringing in a bunch of people to try and help us raise. We're looking to get up to $35,000 for the Secular Student Alliance. This is a college organization that is at colleges where people who are not religious, who want to promote secular humanism, positive skepticism, people being more scientifically minded, basically the antithesis of certain political realities that we've been seeing, what you would maybe call an antidote to Christian nationalism, at least potentially in the future. That is why we are here and think that it is time for us to support the Secular Student Alliance, because right now, while we have been obviously investing a lot in the present generation and the words we have to say, it is becoming clearer than ever that we also need to be investing in the next generation on the off chance that we're not going to get to see the world that we're trying to work toward. I just realized I keep looking at the wrong camera. The world that we are trying to work toward in our lifetimes necessarily, it is worth still working toward that world and investing in the people who potentially could make that change. So you will notice that tonight, instead of a super chat button, you will see a super donate or a giving button. It looks like a heart that is also like two hands holding each other. And if you donate, every dollar you donate will 100% go. We're not taking a cut. YouTube doesn't even take a cut. In fact, if you're annoyed with some of the things YouTube's been announcing lately, as I know I am, the fun thing is whatever you donate, any fees there are for credit cards, whatever, YouTube's actually covering those. So if you send $5, a full $5 will be sent on to the Secular Student Alliance. And so I would love to see, I love doing this at the beginning of shows. We did it the other day. What I would like to is just see, we right now have 500 people here. Before I bring Matt and Forrest in, I like to see right at the beginning, if we all get together, and I want you to wait a moment to do it. What I'm going to say is right now it's 7 after. As soon as the clock hits 10 after, so we're about 3 minutes, I want everyone to flood with a $1, $5, $10. Let's just start this one off strong with a strong, let's flood with everybody who's here early, everybody who actually gives a shit about this. Let's start strong with the donations, and just seriously, if you can give $1, $5, $10, and then once that happens, we will bring in our other people, and we're going to play tonight's Golden Mic. If you all don't know what the Golden Mic is, we did this for the last fundraiser. It's a lot of fun. Basically, Matt, Forrest, and I are going to be taking calls, and depending on what the donation amount is, which right now we are at $5,837, depending on what that $100 mark is, the one that's 800 right now, that'll determine who has the mic. So basically every time we do another $100, the mic's going to get moved. So Forrest might be in the middle of explaining evolution, and then the mic gets moved, and now Matt gets to take that over. Or I think that's the order we have it in, right? Yeah, it's going to go Forrest, Matt, and me. Take over wherever he is, and he will have to mute at that moment. Actually, Arden will be able to mute him. We're only going to have microphones active for whoever is supposed to have it active at that moment. We'll explain that whole system, but let's all get ready. We're now at the 9-minute mark. So once everybody sees the clock hit 10 after, I would love to see us absolutely flood the chat with 5, 10, 20, 50 other, the word is other on here, whatever other amount you can do, please donate. By the way, you can hit the little heart, and then you hit the amount you want to give. You can check mark if you want your name shown with it. Then you hit continue. And then that next screen, go ahead and get to that screen, because that's where you're going to actually hit donate. Make sure your card stuff is ready. We're less than a minute away, and I just want to see how much we can flood this chat right all together, how much we can do over the course of like 1 minute, essentially 1 to 2 minutes, as people catch up to this part of the stream. It's going to hit that 10-minute mark here in just a moment. We're going to flood it. We're going to see how much we can get off to a great start. I really hope we're going to pass the 6,000 mark. And that's it. We are now at 610. Everybody hit that donate and absolutely flood the chat right now with donations. If you haven't hit donate yet, go ahead and hit donate. You know, over the next few moments, if you can only send $1, send $1, $5, $10. Let's absolutely wreck this, flood the chat, get so much in there, and let's see how much we can get started before we even play the game. By the way, we have now broken the $6,000 mark. We've now broken $6,150 mark. Again, we want to hit $35,000. And one of the reasons why that number is important to us is if you look back at the last one we did, the last charity event we did, we raised about 65,000. So we know we can hit 35 for RFR, but that will mean that our community came together and donated $100,000 to actual charities that matter right now. And that's why that mark is, we hit about 65 last time, 35. We would have, as a community, people who think online communities that we're not doing anything or whatever, we're just keyboard warriors, and yet we are actually putting dollars down that make a difference. So far we are at 6,350. Continue with your flood. As these continue to flood in, let me go ahead and bring in my friends. At least I hope they consider themselves such. These are my friends. Let me fix which output we are on here. This is to my left, Matt Dillahunty, and to my right, Forrest Alki, but we're actually going to change that arrangement here in a moment. Matt, how are you today?
Absolutely terrible. I was noting there were people from Finland and Australia saying that they weren't able to donate, so I figured I'd make you aware that they were typing that in chat. Could be their problem, could be our problem, who the hell knows. I need everybody to do a favor for me. In case you haven't noticed, not only does it look like I have an eye that's about to explode all over everything, but I'm speaking a little funny, and that's because I had all of my teeth removed, except for 4, and replaced with these dentures, and I'm in massive pain, and I am taking pain medication that makes me loopy and high. So when the golden mic is on me, not only do you want to donate money to get it to somebody else quickly in order to save me from having to talk too much, which my dentist has warned would be bad for me, but also I guarantee you I will use my time to whine and oh, everything locked up.
I still see you.
I appreciate the fact that Matt selfishly elected to have teeth before this stream. That's so rude.
So rude.
You could have waited.
Arden, I don't know if you want to go talk to Matt, because we can still see and hear him. If you want to hit the other
Yeah, I
room.
can go check it out.
There's nothing moving.
This is very odd.
Yeah.
So just so everybody knows, this show is barely happening, because as Matt's already informed you, he's not well. He's got the sty from hell and the matching dental stuff going on. Forrest is in a parking lot. Do you want to tell people why you're in a parking lot?
I got home to do this stream only to find out that the power is out in most of my town. Like 1,000 people, just the power's gone. And I called the power company here in Oklahoma, and they assured me that they're working very hard on it, and it should be back in no time, by 10 o'clock at the earliest. And so I drove down the road to a brightly lit parking lot, and just before the stream started, some fucking person in an SUV, I'm parked this away, and someone in an SUV just pulled up, cutting across several parking spots to shine their headlights directly into my driver's side window at my stupid face. I can't see the chat. I can't see the stream. I'm on my goddamn cell phone talking to you through an earbud. And this is what life is, because the gods have punished me for my hubris. And so this is what it has to be. This is what the stream is. This is how it's going to go. We're going to raise a lot of money for charity. We're going to do good things.
Yeah, things are going really great right now. Matt, do we have your audio back?
I don't know.
Yep. Do you
I can hear you.
Sweet. Yeah, all of StreamYard just locked up in Firefox. I could still hear you guys, but the entire window is frozen, while all the other windows are working just fine, including the stream.
Yeah.
Try Chrome. It's real cool.
No.
Don't give tech advice to me if you don't know the nightmare that I go through every time we try to do anything, because this shit started in Chrome and we had to move to Firefox because Chrome doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, it was the opposite for me. I had to Chrome it. I hate it.
Chrome and Blackmagic drivers do not work very well together. And Blackmagic drivers referring
There's
to
no Blackmagic stuff going on here.
What I found is to get video stuff to work on Chrome, I had to get rid of not whether they were in use or not. Okay, anyway, nobody cares about this shit.
Another time.
I had to completely remove them from my system. People, here we are. We're going to start taking calls here in a minute. We would love to hear if people believe that God exists and they have a reason why to defend them. Arden, if you are able to, I can handle the production end for the moment. So if you're able to get in and screen those calls and help us line those up, that would probably be best thing we can look at right there. But let me show everybody how this is going to work. We'll go ahead and turn the mics on. These are the golden microphones, and they will go on and off of the screen depending on who is allowed to talk. So at a time where only I am allowed to talk, you might see something that looks a little bit like this, where there is only a golden mic in front of me. And if I don't notice, there is the potential that others would be muted. If it was Matt's time to talk, Matt would look like this.
And I would be able to speak, although not very freaking clearly or, profoundly, because I'm high and hurting. But the SSA is worth it.
That's right. That's right. I actually feel profoundly guilty. And I'm just sitting here like, man, I wonder if we should have moved it or something. And then everything's falling apart. Oddly, not on my end. So I'm waiting to see what the tragedy will be in my location. That's going to be. And anyway, this is what it would look like if only Forrest could talk. Forrest, why don't you take a moment?
Armadillos are the only extant mammals with osteoderms. Those are like bones embedded in the skin. They develop through intermembranous ossification, and they're the only ones left that have them. There's plenty of reptilians that have osteoderms, but only armadillos have osteoderms. And what's really cool about that is, whatever. All right, fine.
Yeah. So I'll go back to all three of us. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to start taking calls here in a moment, and you're going to donate on the basis of who you want to be talking on the screen. Now, here is our little banner to explain it, but it's not going to help much. Here's basically the gist of it. If there is a microphone under Forrest, we need the $100 mark. So right now we're at 6,494. We would need the 4 in there, the first 4 after the comma, to change to 5, and then it would move from Forrest to Matt, and then from Matt to me when 5 went to 6, and then from 6 to now. Here's the funny thing: that key might have been completely wrong, though. Actually, I think it was right. That actually is right. Here's a little banner that we were arguing over how to display here, but. When the X, the $100 is a 1, 4, or a 7, that's going to be Forrest's time to talk. When it is a 2, 5, or an 8 in the $100 mark, that is going to be the time for Matt to talk. And when it is a 3, 6, or a 9, that's going to be the time for me to talk. And if it's a 0, we're going free for all. So that is the way it's going to work tonight. And they will just have to trust Arden and I that we are giving the microphones to the right people. Arden will probably chime in and say, hey, it's so-and-so's turn if they don't notice that it changes. But for the moment, we are right now Still getting the call set up. And like I said, there's been a lot of stuff going on, but we will have calls here starting soon. Again, if you believe in God and you would like to tell us why and talk to us, can't tell you which one, but for the most part, you'll only talk to one of us at a time, except during the free-for-all moments. Please do go ahead. And by the way, if you're listening right now, it looks like we have doubled the number of viewers since we started. And we did a little flood the chat with donations. So while Arden gets the call screened, and before we start the conversation, let's do one more. Let's do another one. So let's say right now it is 6:19. At 6:22, when the clock hits 6:22, everybody send a donation in, as many as you can all at once. Let's flood the chat with, so right now on the chat, you'll see a little heart icon. Click that. You're going to see donate now. You'll click donate now, and then you're going to pick your donation amount. So right now I'm hitting $20. And I'm going to click show my name, which it'll be coming from the line, but it's coming from my wallet. $20. And I'm going to hit continue. And then I'm going to wait to hit the donate button until the clock says 6:22 or wherever you are, 22 after the hour. And we are going to once again together with everybody here while the calls are getting screened and we get ready for that. We're going to flood the chat with 1, 5, 10, whatever you can afford. Let's flood it again. And let's go ahead and reset this number. We're already over 6,000. We're at 6,494. There is no reason we couldn't get that over 7,000 before we start the Golden Mic contest.
There are 2 hearts below chat.
I think
One
it's
of
cool.
them just does a heart emoji. You can click that as often as you like. There's another one that looks like a heart, but it's hands.
Yeah.
That's the one you want to click. Click that one to donate. And just because people are showing up late, every single time the microphone comes with me, I will start with, oh, it's my turn. Yes, I have a sty on my eye. Yes, I have new dentures and I can't fucking talk. Yes, I'm high as a kite. Yes, I'm in pain. Anything else you guys want me to restate every time we go back to me, I will do that.
I will also start with that every time the mic comes to me as well, just for solidarity. I think it's important.
Forrest is in his car because he's homeless now.
That's right. Because not enough people donated to the SSA.
That's
right.
And they're the only ones. They're the ones keeping me afloat.
Everyone's relieved that he got out of my basement where I was keeping him trapped. All right, everybody get ready because it's about to turn. So remember, I'm gonna actually go back and do it again. You're gonna hit the heart that looks like hands icon to hit donate now. Then you're gonna click the dollar amount. I'm hitting 20. You're gonna hit check mark to show your name if you want to. Click continue. And then we're all going to hit the final donate button here in just a moment together. As soon as the clock hits 22, it should all be at the same moment. Let's go ahead and flood this chat, and then we will get on to calls, and we will be doing that, a little Golden Mic issue, until whatever catastrophe, tech catastrophe or whatever comes for us, because clearly tonight is not going to go smoothly. That's it, 22. Everybody hit that donate button right now. Button, button, button. I'll keep saying button for it. Donate, donate, donate. Button, button, button. Click it and let's flood again. 1, 5, 10, 20. Get it started going. If you were like, am I? Do it now. Hit the $1, hit the $2. Let's get that over the 7,000 mark and have that done in the first half hour, because we don't know what tech issues are coming for us. But I am excited for tomorrow, everybody. I think we're going to have fun. I figured out, I've told everybody, I usually figure out my gimmick for these fundraisers last minute. I think I figured out the gimmick tomorrow. I figured it out yesterday. Usually it's like the day of or like the night before. Come on, keep flooding, people. Add more. $1, $2, $3, $5, $20.
It's more fun if you just do lots of like $1 ones. It looks more cool. And also you can influence like a bunch of times during the show. If you just do like $5 or $10 at a time, instead of one $100 donation, do like several $10 donations throughout the show. So you have more participation in the show. It's a lot more fun that way. Just word of advice.
Yeah. If you had like, let's say $100 in total that you were planning to donate tonight, you can do that as $100 donations. And then once you run out of them, you can start on your second 100, because we all know you're going to go over.
That's right.
For sure.
Right now, people, we're going to take the first call as soon as we break that $7,000 mark. As soon as we break it, that's when we're going to go ahead and answer the first call, which it looks like we're going to get to talk to a person who used to call in. Now there's still a band caller who keeps calling in trying to just leave slurs. I don't know why they care. I don't know if you guys have the call system up. Like, we're literally doing a thing for charity. This is their life. What a sad life this person has. Clearly, they are a sexually
I want to see the call screen.
It's just literally they just call in and they just type in slurs. They just type slurs. They don't get on or anything. They just type slurs. It's for no reason. Because they're a sad life. Because they are a sexually frustrated person who can't get anybody to love them, and they have pushed everybody away in their life. And this is what they can do. And listen, let's be honest. The FBI should probably check their hard drive.
Their hard drive. Yeah.
That's the kind of person who does this sort of thing. Right now, we still need $225 more. Let's finish this flood up and get over to the $7,000. And again, if you are a theist, you are a Christian, you are somebody who does not believe. Well, by the way, we'll argue about anything. Also, if you're a Trump voter and you want to argue about whether or not Trump was a good pick, yeah, call. I don't know what you guys. If you
we're here for it.
If you think that Trump is going to be a great president, you think it's a good thing that I was going to say Robert Downey Jr., RFK Jr. is going to be running the Health and Human Services, or Matt Gaetz. I'd love to hear someone to defend Matt Gaetz for Attorney General.
For real.
Go ahead and call in right now.
Is this better? Does this do anything for you?
Yeah, it's
you
better.
Liking this?
It's better.
All right, I'll leave it this way.
I want to make sure we're using the word better to not mean good. But we still need $200. By the way, thank you everybody who is donating. Just a couple. I'm going to pick a couple random shout outs. A lot of anonymouses. I can't believe how much Anonymous has
Love
to
that
donate
guy
tonight. Yeah,
Anonymous is great.
They are the shit. Thank you, John Sabo. Thank you, DeCosta, Blackwater. Thank you, Dade. Hey, Dade's in the chat. Thank you, Tom Snow. Maybe that's my brother. I don't know. Smart Alec Atheist. You're cool. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Sapphic Bibliophile, Mr. Boricua.
You know, the good thing about this, honestly, all tech issues and weirdness aside, is that like at this point, if we get like a terrible caller, I can go get a Frosty and continue the show at the same time. Like this is actually, I might start doing more shows like this.
Well, you know, like when you go into Wendy's, though, they go, "Welcome to Wendy's" at GPS coordinates, and then they list it off. Everyone will know where you are.
I would imagine it'd be a drive-through situation, considering that I'm in the car.
It could be. It could be.
Go to a Wendy's in Tulsa, and you might find me.
Unless you can get a Frosty for me, I don't think it's fair, because my mouth could really use a Frosty, and I can't go get one. So I don't think it'd be fair for you to do it.
It is unkind.
Tell you what your mouth can use. What does that even mean?
Well, it means that 2 days ago I had all of my teeth removed except for 3, and now I have full-on denture devices, and I'm in an incredible pain. And something cool and soothing would be wonderful.
You heard him, Martin.
Why do you hate me, Forrest? Why are you being mean to me?
The problem is that I'm like 10 hours away from you, and I want badly to help you, my friend, but I can't. All I can do is laugh.
It's okay, because now when I laugh, I can see my new teeth.
There you go. Maybe if I start driving now, then by the end of the stream, I'll be there to bring Matt a Frosty.
We're still $102 away, people. Oh, we are not.
Get it together, Anonymous.
My health is not that good enough to go however many hours you just said. I'll DoorDash him one to not have to wait for you if that's what it takes. $97 away from us taking our first call. 720-619-2288. If you are a person, I guess I should repeat that, and I think I have the banner ready. Yes, 720. Oh, that was a dumb way to do it. We're still getting used to this new system. We're not using it all the time, but we're messing with it because it's way easier for multi shows like this. 720-619-2288 or the link in the web description, 720-619-2288. If you are a theist or a Republican, or you have something with which you would like to debate some secular humanists on, some anti-Trumpers on, you can call and we will do it, and we will move the mic as necessary according to the donations. But we do still need $46 before we get started. I really want to see that $7,000 mark. A bunch of you right now, just do it again. Flood $5. What were you going to spend?
I want to be the person given this like $50 right now, but I can't. As we established in the show, I can't do literally anything with my phone. And then when we were setting everything up, I tried to look something up. I tried to check the live chat and everything like that. And it just boots me out of what we're doing. So like, this is my life, is just staring at this the screen is this big, because that's what I've got going on. Can I do this?
Let's be clear. He would also be donating to keep moving the mic back to himself tonight. Whoa, Stephen with the 69 and another $50. People, I love you. Y'all are wonderful. We are now at $7,169, and we are going to take the first call. So because the first number, the $100 number now begins with a 1, that means Forrest will be beginning. So Forrest, why don't you go ahead and welcome Landon, and we'll shut up.
Landon, I'm Forrest. I have no idea who you are because I can't see this call screen, but how are you?
Hello?
Hello. Hi. I'm in a car.
How's it going, Forrest? I can tell. I'm in a car.
Bad. I'm in a car.
Driving.
Neither am I. I'm glad that neither one of us are driving. How are you doing? What are you calling about?
So, it's funny the mic got passed to you because you might be the only one who is unfamiliar with my previous call. I had called in July of 2023 as a theist who was trying to logically persuade other people into the faith. I was given a really strong argument by Matt and Jimmy as to why that was, frankly, a bad idea. And I deconverted in November. I'm an atheist now.
Congratulations. That's fantastic.
I completely flipped the switch. And I'm also an Oklahoman. So,
I'm so sorry.
It's like entering another world. Yeah, it really feels like that. So I called with 2 questions, ran them both by Arden. She said both were good for this. The first is that when I am talking to my theist friends who remain, I've lost probably about 80% when I left the faith. And I ask them to explain to me why there is a God or what their argumentation is. No matter what, it always boils down to the same 2 components. Arguments from authority, meaning it's okay because God does it, and personal experience. I met God and you can't take that away from me. How do you continue a conversation about challenging somebody's faith when it just seems like those 2 things are discussion killers?
By the way, Forrest lost the mic.
Forrest lost the mic. Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a badass for being here.
Hi,
I have
Matt.
a sty, a rash, new dentures, and after having almost all but 3 or 4 of my teeth removed, I'm high on pain meds and still in pain. But the SSA needs money, and I will be here until I can't stand it anymore. So donate to move the mic. Donate to help the SSA. Donate again and again. I'm here by the grace of science. Hey, Landon.
Hi.
So can you do your question one more time, and maybe the mic will move before I get a chance to answer it?
I'll trim it down, and hopefully I can get it in time. When I'm talking with other theists, the arguments that they tend to lean on, and that seems to just kill the conversation immediately, are arguments from authority, meaning God did it, so it's okay, and personal experiences. And these both seem unchallengeable to me. So
yeah, well, they're not just unchallengeable. You can point that out. You can say, I have no way of rebutting your personal experience, but why do you think that your personal experience warrants the conclusion that you've made? I had all kinds of weird experiences. I had experiences in church. I stood there and felt elation and got goosebumps and everything else. And then I went on to learn about psychology and how psychology is being used and exploited in religious contexts. And that helped fix that. But this notion that it's okay because God does it or whatever else, there's never been any demonstration anywhere that any God has ever done anything. And so really they're putting faith or their confidence into stories, into secondhand accounts of what people say happened. And so while
they're sort of retrofitting their experiences into these religious stories when they can be explained otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing is, even if they had a personal experience that we couldn't explain. Oh shit! My fucking StreamYard just froze up again. But I'm assuming you can hear me. But even if they had
I can hear you just fine.
A story that we could not explain, then we're in a position where the story can't be explained or hasn't been explained. There is nothing that allows them to say, "Ooh, because we can't explain this under X, Y, or Z, therefore." It's reasonable to infer that a God did it, because you could, under that same criteria, infer that it was universe creating pixies or super technologically advanced aliens sending stuff to your head. There's literally no position that you couldn't take based on faith.
Yeah.
And I have to reset StreamYard. So
that's okay.
I don't know what to do. We shouldn't really talk. It's Mike's, it's Matt's. Somebody quick, donate.
We're at an impasse.
Donate $12 so I get the mic. We just go quiet. Hey, somebody watch.
My favorite part of this stream so far is every time when, like, just at random times when Matt will be talking and it just becomes a weird, flippant, bipply alien voice. And then he comes back and it's like 30 seconds ahead of where he was. And it's great. It's so fun streaming on 5G in a parking lot. It's great.
Okay, Mike's mine now. All right. You're with me now. Yeah.
Hey.
What's up, man? It's Jimmy, by the way. How are you, Landon? I vaguely remember you.
Doing well.
Good.
You gave me quite a bit of positive advice the last time around.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad I didn't scare you away because people tell me that's all I do. So listen, Landon, what I'll tell you, like, as far as some of the difference I have, and reminder people that if you want to move the mic, every time we go another $100, the mic does get moved around. And so if you want, right now we are $87 away from me losing the mic again. But while we're here talking to Landon, I also think that it's very useful to people to introduce them to the idea of what the method by which you are confirming your belief is what everybody is using to confirm their religious belief. And so what makes your anecdote better than, and that's why I bring up Mormonism so much, because Mormonism is filled with very faithful people. In fact, in Mormonism, you're sort of looked down on if you use I believe language. You're meant to say, I know. I know the church is true. I know this. I know that, blah, 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 blah. And I know that there are other churches that do that. And so I will bring up examples of, like, okay, here's a Mormon person. Here's what they said is their example and stuff. So if it's not okay for them to rely on just an anecdote to potentially have totally misinterpreted their experience, and it's not okay for them to say, well, God did it and throw their hands up in the air, which isn't necessarily most perfectly the argument from authority, but I get that. I get why you were calling it that.
It's kind of there. I understand.
It's less of the thing is for it to be it would need to be an argument, and it already isn't an argument there, because if we're arguing about the existence of God, you can't say, my argument for the existence of God is we agree, for the premise of this is that we agree God exists and he did it. That doesn't really work. But anyway, an argument from authority would be more like, no, it had to, I have to be correct because God agrees with me. And you'd then have to even prove that God agreed with you in the first place. So anyway, that part's a little bit weird, but in general, like I said, comparing it to what other people's experiences are, that's the thing to do. I do want to tell people who are watching in the chat right now, if you have a friend who's a Republican, if you have a friend who is a Christian, if you have a friend, anybody who loves to debate, if you can convince somebody to call us and debate us tonight, think about how much that is going to help the event that we're doing. That's going to help a lot because it's going to make people want to stay around more. It's going to help people want to donate more. Definitely. Today is the day to have your friends call in and let us play with your friend. Let us debate with your friends and make this show as entertaining as possible, especially with the mic moving around. Now, I will say, I am surprised. I was expecting that every time I got the mic, people would immediately flood with donations. That actually I would accidentally get the mic back because people would be so eager to give. We're only $67 away from the line's favorite child, Forrest, getting the mic back, that I'm actually surprised it hasn't happened yet. But Landon, what was your second question while I have you?
So this one's a bit of a challenge, and it's something that I haven't heard a lot of discussion about, but I know that this has been quite tumultuous in terms of time for a lot of people. What with the change of administration, the world looks like it's in utter chaos again, and people are understandably pissed off, worried, and upset. But in my discussions with my theist friends, where I articulate these concerns to them, I find a response that is both frustrating and curious, which is this kind of immutable contentedness with not the way things are, but this understanding of almost things will work themselves out. It's not passive ignorance. Like, there's this understanding that, yes, things are shitty, but they need not make my life shitty now until they come knocking on the door.
Yes.
And so my question is, they base this off the idea that God is managing everything. Is there a non-theistic equivalent for that immutable hope?
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, the God is controlling everything argument really defeats their free agency argument. I just want to say, if they actually believe that God's in control, and it's like, wait, I thought God doesn't do that. I thought you said we have free will.
God,
but yes,
really
there is a
that
tendency of people who, the non-theistic version of the argument we saw with this was like with the election. Well, he didn't destroy the country last time, so he's not going to destroy it this time. Or things are overall getting better. So, and it's just any appeal to apathy where you're basically going, hey, things aren't bad for me at this very moment, and so calm down. Why are we all freaking out so much? Or the parallel arguments of
it's the anticipation.
Just because
of
we
harm
vote differently doesn't mean we can't be friends, and that is often not true. Sometimes that's exactly what it means, that we can't be friends, because you're a little fuckface fascist supporter, and I'm just gonna go with homie, don't play that, yo. I feel I sound like Forrest Velkai right now. I'm very we are $4 away from me losing the mic, so you might be able to get an answer from Forrest as well. But people, please send us your people. Oh, here you go. This is it's your mic now.
Okay,
Forrest.
Oh hell yeah! I was holding up I wrote on a receipt. What about Christians in Palestine? You know, if they're talking about like, oh, these God's working it out, God's saving us, God's in control. Yeah, a bunch of fucking Christians getting the shit bombed out of them because they happen to live in Gaza right now. I'm sure God is super in their side and in their corner right now. I like to call these arguments everlasting.
Nobody else has the faith shield.
Exactly, yeah. I like to call these arguments everlasting thought stoppers, because that's what they really are. It's like when we talk about morality, and we're like, hey, it's not cool to kill kids, and here's this, pick your favorite passage of God killing kids, God condoning slavery, God condoning genocide, God talking about rape and murder and all these things. And what you have to remember is that these theists have a top-down, they have a vertical morality system. They don't have a horizontal morality system where everything's on a level playing field and things that are wrong. They have this vertical morality where things are wrong, where murdering somebody isn't wrong because it's wrong to murder somebody. Murdering somebody is wrong because you didn't have the authority to do it. And so that's where this comes from, where you're talking about, well, it's okay because God can do these, that God's in control, God decides, blah, blah, blah. God has the authority to murder, to rape, to commit genocide, to commit fraud, to lie, to cheat, to steal. You don't. That's what the commandment means. It doesn't mean these things are good. It means you're not allowed, but I am. I create good and evil, God says. And so I would just present to them that, like, just like what that hole in their argument does to their brain and their heart and their heart's brain, to say, like, hey, you are not telling me that you think it's wrong that, pick your favorite, that 10,000 children starve to death every day. You're not telling me that's wrong. You're telling me it would be wrong if I did it, but you're telling me it's actually a good thing because it's part of God's plan and God's allowed. And so you need to be honest with me and say you think sometimes it's a great thing, not just a good thing, but an ideal thing that kids are starving to death, because that's the God that you worship, is his plan. He's in control. He's the one pulling the strings. That's what I would say. And apparently Jimmy's listening to me on his cell phone. Very kind of him. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. And that's the way that I would frame these things, is to help people understand that, like, you are pulling up an argument that is designed to stop you from thinking any further. And if you think about what you're not thinking about, and if you think about what you're actually saying, if you try to get past that thought stopper, it's a whole hell of a lot worse than if you had just said the shitty thing that I assumed you were saying.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Kind of transitioning into that second question, though, because I do encounter a lot of that same discussion and rhetoric that on the one hand does seem very apathetic, where people go, well, all this bad shit's happening, I can take a back seat until it personally affects me, and then it happens. I am trying to find a way to balance an informed petition for change with an overwhelming anxiety. And I find, especially as of late, because I happen to have a number of friends who live in states, this one included, where the changes that are being made at state and local legislation per the regime change, as it were, is causing them to be affected directly and negatively. And so how do you balance that kind of almost like doom scroll-esque mentality of I have to know everything and it has to make me feel like shit and I can't do anything about it, versus personal advocacy and making a difference within the region that you can affect?
Just remove that last part of your trilogy there, saying that I can't do anything about it. You absolutely can. You should know as much as you can, and these things, if you're a good person, should you make you feel shitty, there's no reason for you to sit there and punish yourself and flagellate yourself and say, okay, well, I need to be this depressed before I'm allowed to call myself a good person. Like, that's not ridiculous. That's pretty silly, but like, yeah, I wholly agree with the idea. Don't fucking look away. Take if you need to take a mental health break, if you cannot watch anymore and you need to fucking get yourself together, having you lose your shit isn't helping anybody. But in normal circumstances, don't turn away from it. Pay attention, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, keep your heart open, and then find ways to be productive. Most of my activism is being a son of a bitch online, trying to whip people into a frenzy. Yeah. But like, honestly, there's a lot you could be doing. You could be volunteering to your local charitable organizations. Here where I live in Oklahoma, where we live in Oklahoma, where I live in Tulsa, there's plenty of organizations that are actually helping people a lot. And if you don't want to volunteer one that's local, you can volunteer for one that's international. You could do phone banking. You could do door knocking. You could go out asking for donations all around your city. You could be volunteering for political campaigns. You could be running for office yourself. That's a cool idea. Thing is, it's surprisingly easy to do. You just have to be comfortable with broadcasting yourself all over the place. There's a lot that could be done, even just to affect the people in your immediate community. And honestly, it sounds silly and it sounds small, but one of the bigger things is going out and just meeting your neighbors. If you have a good community just in your local, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, it's funny you actually mentioned that, because I live next to a set of neighbors where for years they sort of fit this political stereotype. They would just sit out there, drink beer, have laughs. I wouldn't talk to them because I'm like, I feel disconnected from these people. They're not in my worldview, my ballpark, and they're still celebrating and happy. I talked to them the other day, and we have an overwhelming amount in common. We both experience issues relating to physical and mental disability. We both experience issues in day-to-day in terms of like what career and work looks like. And we just sat down and I said hi, and chewing the fat an hour and a half later, I have an ally there. We may differ ideologically, but we connect on a human level. And I've found that plugging into activist organizations, it's funny you mentioned that, because I interact with Oklahoma atheists, and I interact with these different groups that are in my vicinity, because as soon as I deconverted, I was like, well, shit, I got to figure this out. Let me get myself some people who can help me do that.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised with that, with your initial story there about your neighbors. That happens a lot. The most diametrically opposed people that live in the same community have a lot in common. And when I say that, what I mean is that like you and the most crazy alt-right MAGA Republican, you have the same issues. You both are worried about groceries. You both are worried about safety. Yeah. You both are worried about your family. You both are worried about the future of your country. You both are worried about making sure that the people that you love the most are protected and safe and comfortable and all these things. You have the exact same concerns. You're just looking in different directions. And the crazy MAGA Trump person or whatever is bought into a bunch of conspiracy theories. But at the end of the day, their heart is usually, I'm not going to say always, but usually in the right place. And so, like, no matter how much you may differ politically, religiously, economically, you have a lot more in common with each other than you do with a politician or a billionaire who are running this fucking place and fucking it up for everybody.
Absolutely. You are 100%
yes.
true on that.
And I guarantee you, the crazy MAGA Republican will say fuck the government right along with you, just for slightly different reasons, but mostly the same.
Yeah.
And so, like, making friends with those people makes it more difficult for them to then turn around and say, okay, well, yeah, actually, also, though, you're the kind of person that needs to be brought in by the fucking National Guard for being an evil.
Yeah, I had that discussion with my own parents, and I spoke to them, and, you know, initially pleaded with them about Project 2025 and whatnot. And they had such, most people would chalk it up to ignorance, but I've known them long enough to know that it was a humane response to go, no, somebody this bad cannot be in charge. This has to be a fluke. Obviously, that's still up in the air, mostly probably not. But it goes to show that those connections, like, that's how we actually get to kind of paraphrase you, unify against the actual threat, which are the people who are hoarding all of the wealth and all of the money and all of the resources and telling everybody else to go fuck each other.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Matt, and I'm a badass for being here. I have a sty, a rash, and new dentures. I'm high on pain meds and still in pain, but the SSA needs money, and I'll be here until I can't stand it anymore. So donate to move the mic and donate to help the SSA. There are conversations that are different. Now, first of all, I no longer have conversations with my parents about anything remotely important. We're not going to discuss politics. Yeah. We're not going to discuss how we're voting, because I already know. I can predict with near certainty what their views are and what they think about a great many things. So I don't bother. Now, there are other people that I'm close with, and I can, despite what people think, because people see me on these shows and they see someone call in and they see me, you know, try and explain, and then they don't answer the question, and then the audio delay on the thing, and then they don't answer another question. The next thing you know, I'm fucking yelling at them about why they won't answer the fucking question that I fucking asked them. And so they think that that's my whole life. It's not my whole life. It's not even the normal thing, because in normal conversations, when I sit down to talk to somebody one-on-one, whether it's a family member or a friend or a random person on an airplane, there's no delay. There's not an audience. And they tend to stop avoiding the question. When I keep pushing, like if I'm standing there saying, that didn't answer the question, that didn't answer the question, they don't just go off and try to preach. Because what happens on a show like this is once a caller gets airtime, they want to use that airtime and maximize it. And so what some of them are doing, you guys are weak sauce, only $26 since I started talking. You must be loving my pain. But once they get on here, they're now essentially in a position to be part of the show and supporting their ideas publicly. That's very different than you have in a one-on-one conversation. And so there are things that can be said, and there's ways to move the needle a little bit. At this point, I'm more concerned with figuring out how to get the apathetic people who don't vote and don't participate at all 60. To get them involved, although I'm terrified of what their involvement might actually look like. And the other aspect of this is it's one thing to say, oh, we could have a conversation and maybe change minds. I don't know when someone is has their mind so set and so confused and based on so much misinformation that they're unmovable. But the nice thing is that even if they're unmovable by me, they might be movable by Forrest. They might be movable by Jimmy. They might be movable by somebody who's nastier and yells more. They might be moved by mocking. They might be moved by comforting. You don't know. And that's why we need a bunch of different approaches. And while Forrest is absolutely right that in general, all of us, each of us here has more in common with each other than we do with a billionaire. I probably have more in common. Fuck, my StreamYard has locked up again. It's like it's on a timer. I probably have more in common with a billionaire like Mark Cuban than I do with Elon Musk. And so there's still room for movement and discussion outside of just who we're most associated with, because facts aren't doing it. People don't understand what tariffs are. They don't understand that the economy, that you have more, everybody has more buying power now under Biden than any president in the history of the United States. That's important, and nobody seems to recognize it. There's fully half the population thinks unemployment's at a 30-year high when it's at a 30-year low. So the facts alone and getting the information out isn't doing anything to help us.
Yeah, 100%. I kind of came to this realization when I, again, talked with my family, and I guess the rest of the nation sort of arrived at some of this experience as well, where it's like, even though the information is on our side, for lack of a better term, the lived experience a lot of people are having and the information that's being pushed to them, or rather the mis and disinformation being pushed to them, almost affirms a negative bias. And so, like, it doesn't matter how good things are because I'm not benefiting.
So you got Jimmy now, and we are going to wrap that call there. We have a theist queued up, and I'm excied to talk to the theist. Not that this hasn't been great, but it's also been going on a while. And then, oh shit,
totally fine.
Am I echoing to everybody?
You are echoing.
Yeah, I hate that. Is it better now? Oh, now I can't. Forrest, am I still echoing right now? Just give me a thumbs up if I'm not echoing.
This is the best stream. This is the best stream. We all need to be watching this stream more. This is the best stream we've ever done.
But am I echoing still?
No,
there's no echo
You're
anymore.
fine.
Good. Okay. All right. Cool. Now, shut up. It's me only now. All right. But thank you, Landon, because I'm going to tell everybody what the new gimmick is.
It's absolute joy for all of you, and have a wonderful rest of your stream. I'll be here.
Thank you. Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So here's the deal, people. We're here for one reason primarily, and we're going to get this call on. And actually, for the foreseeable moment, don't donate. Just for a minute, because I'm going to be explaining something, and I'll start the gimmick without you if you do donate, and the show might end because you didn't see this happen. Here's the deal. We're adding something new. We're adding a timer, because this is the most fun, as everybody who was here last time can attest to, when the microphone moves a lot. It is the most fun when the mic moves a lot. So you will now see down in the bottom right that there is a new, let's get rid of this banner because we don't need the call banner up here. There is a new timer, and that timer is the $10 timer. For the remainder of this show, if at any point $10 is not raised within 60 seconds, because when Forrest was talking, y'all just stopped. And look, we're here, and I might raise this dollar amount if y'all like just wait until each moment or whatever. If in a 60-second window, $10 is not raised, then we will, in fact, it's Matt's looking frozen there. We will, in fact, end the stream. The show will not go on if at any point. And so we're going to be watching. I'm going to be hitting play, and I will reset it every time I see that we've gone up another 10 seconds. But we are primarily here to raise money. But also, again, this actually is the most fun when the mic moves a lot, when it is chaotic. Now, the good news is every now and then you're going to get a break from it, because my health issues are starting to rise up, and I'm going to have to step away a couple of times. And when that happens, they'll just move the mic between the two, and it's going to be, but anytime I am here, and we're going to go ahead and hit play on it right now, if in 60 seconds we haven't raised another $10, we are going to end the stream, and it will be over, and that will be it. So just so everybody knows, every 60 seconds, right now we're down to 45, that we don't raise $10. I'm not kidding. That's what we're here for. We're here to raise money. We're going to debate. It is the most fun when the mic moves a lot. If we get big donations, big floods of donations, I'll probably give us a little bit of extra time. I'll wait to hit play, that kind of thing. But anytime, thank you, we did get some donations in there. Anytime we don't do $10 within 60 seconds, it's over, people. It's over. Okay, we're getting some more in there. We're getting some more in. All right, let me go ahead. I'll connect this call and then do a reset of the timer, just so I don't have to watch. And we're going to talk to, hopefully we get Matt back here soon. We're going to talk to Rob in Florida. Rob, you are on the line, and right now the golden mic is with Jimmy Snow. So this is who you got to talk to until we hit the next $100. But Rob, you are a theist from Florida, and what are you calling for?
Yeah, well, thank you for taking my call. I grew up a Unitarian, so I've always believed in God, but I've just been kind of questioning that right now and trying to figure out what the best arguments are for atheism and everything. I'm reading The God Delusion right now by Richard Dawkins. So I guess my two questions are, what's your best argument for atheism? My second one is, if you respect Richard Dawkins' penis.
If I respect his penis, is this a joke call or is that what you're actually asking? By the way, y'all have 15 seconds to reset the timer. I don't know if y'all noticed. What is the context of you saying penis? Oh, the whole thing was a joke? He hung up. What a little bitch. What was the point of that? Wait, did we hit it? Did you all fail in the first thing? What the fuck, people? What the actual fuck? Are you kidding me? You can't do $10 per 60 seconds? We have 1,500 people watching and it's already over. I am very confused by, all right, it looks like some maybe last minute one. Okay, a last minute one came in and saved you. You are saved by the bell. But you all have another 60 seconds. Again, $1, $3, $5, whatever you can. But this stream will end. Arden, can you give me an update on what's happening with Matt?
Yeah, sorry, I put it in the chat. Matt had some sort of like Windows update or something. I think he must have tried to restart to fix whatever problem, and he said he'll be in as soon as possible. But yeah,
gotcha. I'll let the clock wear down a little bit more before I reset it, since someone did just donate $10. But remember, we are here primarily for this reason. So I don't know what the deal with that person was. They said they're reading the God Delusion, and I guess, are you just here? Were they just here to simp for Richard Dawkins? What was that weird call? And do I respect his penis? Yeah, I understand what people are saying, that there was like $90, except there wasn't 90. Otherwise, it would have changed. Unless I missed it, the microphone would have moved to Forrest. It is 60 seconds to reset the timer. So if everybody floods at once, you do have to be a little bit. But I told you I would wait on that one. We've given you another 60 seconds to get us. I just didn't understand what the point of like all of the stuff in the beginning was. No, I don't respect anybody's penis, let alone Richard Dawkins. I'll give you another bit to reset. Oh, and we're getting close to, okay, the mic moves to Forrest. Let me get you a new call set up. So why don't you say hi to I don't know how to say this. Chidu Mumbi. You want to ask him how to pronounce his name first. Here you go, Forrest.
Hi there. I'm in a car and I cannot even see how your name is spelled. So please tell me how to address you.
Chichu maybe.
Okay, so it's Chichu maybe?
Chidu maybe. So
Chidu maybe.
Chidu maybe. Yes.
Chidu maybe. Got it. Awesome. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Chidu maybe. I'm Forrest.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Valkyrie. Nice to meet you too, Mr. Snow. Sorry I couldn't talk to Mr. Dillahunty as well. But let me not waste anyone's time. Now, with the newest information done by Professor Shong and Jack Horner's chicken source experiments, which have showed unequivocal proof of the reactivation of vestigial traits in animals, why do theists look at this and still say, nope, evolution isn't true, despite the fact that we just literally reactivated the feather gene in crocodiles? We have been able to regrow theropod teeth in chickens, and heck, even more evidence for animals that are extinct. We just found a homotherium cub this week.
Yeah, so
how do I best articulate this?
I love anybody who's up to date on Jack Horner, because that dude is fucking awesome. So the big thing I would tell you, just from years of talking to theists and making shows like Reacteria and stuff like that, the argument is going to be, if a theist knows that, which they usually are not going to, but if a creationist knows that, they're then going to say, well, that's because God put all of the information necessary in the DNA to make all the variation. That's why evolution isn't true. All you're doing is changing the DNA that God already put there, and that's because intelligent design, and you need a designer to make the code and blah, blah, blah. So the reason why they won't accept it is because they will find a post hoc workaround to say, if it's unexplainable, then that means only God could possibly have done it. And if it does have an explanation, if it is something we can demonstrate, then that means that it's so incredible and so beautiful and so perfect that only a God could have possibly done it. There's no way around that. So, like, showing evidence for evolution like that is awesome, but in a vacuum, you're just going to get them to say that's how God did it anyway.
You're very likely right.
Mic
as much as I don't like how illogical that sounds, it's probably the reality.
So I didn't actually listen to any of his answer, but I trust mine to be better anyway. Chidu Mebe, I'm just teasing him. The fact that Chidu Mebe, first of all, awesome name. I am very, very jealous because even my legal name is garbage compared to this. People, we are resetting I don't know if we actually hit this one, but okay, we did hit it. You guys have 60 more seconds to get another $10 in. But the biggest thing that you're trying to argue with people who set their own rules. They don't, there's no like rules they're actually following. There was a person who called in the last show I was on. I don't remember which show it was because I don't watch this garbage channel. But there was a recent show I knew that would tickle Forrest. There was a recent show we did where somebody called in and they were basically talking about, I don't remember what it was, but I remember that after it was over, after they hung up, they went in the chat to declare that they had won, that victory had been theirs. And I went, oh, fuck, I didn't know we get to be the referee. I didn't know by the 10 seconds, and I think y'all need to raise $8 more. I didn't know that we get to determine who the winner is. I figured that that's more of an assessment of the audience. I figured that was more of, Saved by the Bell, people. That was the closest one yet, except for the time y'all failed. I figured that that maybe the audience would decide or something. And so we did like a little thing. It was like, all right, well, if you can declare victory in chat, how many people want to super chat that we actually won? But this is the point. They are determining what a good argument is according to what they've been conditioned by their pastors and shit. And so I know plenty of people who do not struggle, quote unquote, struggle with evolution at all, like DNA, common stuff. They talk about it being because it's of common descent from but the common descent isn't ancestors. The common descent is in fact, okay, we're good. The common descent is actually a common creator. And so, sure, God is making everybody out of Legos, but he's only using Legos to make them. So the DNA with the teeth DNA, that's because that teeth DNA, so you're trying to fight. It's like how people think that when the war happens, they're going to be able to overturn the government with their AK-47 or their AR-15. And they're going to be bringing a gun to a drone fight. You are bringing science to a magic fight, right? Like, if you show up with the best science, and we've got the best science, and they have literal spells, how do you beat that? How do you combat that? And so it's not necessarily a matter of trying to get people to accept that your science is better than their magic. I'm letting it run down a little more before I reset it. I see that we need to reset. I'm not saying that that's the version of the argument you want to win. I think you actually want to start with an argument of acknowledging that you and that person have always had some method by which you test reality, and that they are trying to not use it just for this special thing, and try to encourage them to return to use. Oh, I've lost the mic. Forrest.
You lost it.
It hasn't moved to me. I didn't want to start talking. Yeah, no, what Jimmy's saying is absolutely true. And like, that's something that like I try to reinforce over and over whenever I'm doing Reactivity or something like that, is to say like, just the main point of especially intelligent design and all this crap, where they try to put a science wash over magic, is that the actual argument is, yes, I understand that this is something that you can observe in a laboratory and observe in the field, and you can make testable predictions on, and you can, we have tons of evidence from several different fields of science all pointing in this one direction. But have you heard about the magic space guy? Because I think it might be the magic space guy. And they're trying like hell to get these two ideas to sound like they're on equal footing when they just fucking aren't.
I forgot that we're actually on free for all mode now, but
hell yeah. So I would just encourage you not to get your hopes up whenever you say, I have this really compelling thing. Surely that will convince the creationists. It fucking won't. It might win you an argument. It might convince one or two. But the whole business of creationism, and especially the intelligent design movement, is to try to make science sound as magical as possible so they can justify believing in magic. And you're going to have a hard time getting around that.
$10 more in 20 seconds or this stream's over, and we have an actual real theist lining up. So y'all better jump on that. Chichu, maybe what else do you have before we...
Hold on. Well, I was listening to you. I wanted to thank you guys because since the election, I have been feeling sad, depressed, angry, but also defiant. Because I figure the best way to stick it to whatever the administration comes is to try and live well and help others. But Forrest, I wanted your advice, stuff like that, because when I was working on a Gorgosaurus specimen in the lab, I had some theists come up to watch us in the lab at the museum. And they were talking about all of this, which rankled because I'm clearly uncovering a dinosaur right in front of you guys. I'm going to do my paleontology work, and they're saying this.
Yep. But don't you know, Chitamebe, it's not actually a dinosaur, it's a dragon from the Ark. Haven't you heard?
Thank you, Chitamebe.
You're awesome. I appreciate you. Yeah. Thank you for your question, and thank you for being an awesome paleontologist. We need more of them.
Yeah. Thank you, Jadu.
Thank you. Bye.
Matt, have you seen the new gimmick? Are you aware of it?
Excuse me?
We're on free for all right now, so everyone can talk. Are you aware of the new gimmick?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So now because we want to move the mic as much as possible and encouraging donating as much as possible, we have this timer that counts down from 60 seconds. Every time we hit $10 in that 60 seconds, we reset it. And if that clock hits 0 and we do not recover it, we're going to end the stream because we're here to make money for the SSA. Now, I do think we have $10 to cover this one. I'm going to move it up a little bit here. I'm being told to turn up the volume on my mic. I can do that a little bit for y'all. We are here primarily to make the money, so as to not favor any one host over another. It's now 60 seconds to raise only $10, so you can still keep the mic with the different people. And as soon as we hit the 8,100 mark, Forrest will exclusively get the mic again. And then, because we are in the free for all section right now, but people right now you only have
what happened to the sad troll screaming slurs? I wanted that guy. That sounded like fun. No, you took that dude away from me, and now I'm sad.
We were never going to put him on the actual air. He just calls in, leaves slurs, and then leaves.
Schmegley, I dare you to call in and say that to me.
Say it, Schmegley. I have no idea what you're saying because I can't see the fucking chat, but call in. I want to see some spice today. That sounds like fun.
Do we get enough to do? We need like $5 more in 10 seconds, but let's start the call. I assume we're going to get it. Yeah, okay, we got it. We're going to reset that, and we're going to talk to a theist. And y'all have 60 seconds for this call. Let's move the mic as much as we can. But George in Washington, go ahead, George. You are on the line with Forrest, Jimmy, and Matt.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Do you believe empirical evidence for God exists?
I mean, I certainly don't, since I'm an atheist. If empirical evidence for a God existed, I don't think I would be an atheist.
Well, in all fairness, empirical does mean like sensory data as well. So like you could try to lump anecdotal evidence there, call it empirical evidence. I'm talking like good evidence. When I use the word empirical, I mean like stuff that's actually like scientifically valid.
And my rejection is not only is there not sufficient empirical evidence to warrant belief in a God, there's been no demonstration of any possibility of empirical evidence for a God. We have no way of testing or confirming anything supernatural.
Truth.
Right. So you don't believe empirical evidence exists for God, yet you are asking for empirical evidence for God. Can you define what you mean by God?
I like
No,
that
Well,
you're
so
the
hold
one
on.
that defines what God you're talking about, not
Yeah.
us.
I love the
I also want to point out, like,
the question in general. When I answer the question in general, I'm talking about the God of classical theism and generally the gods of all the various religions that we deal with on a regular basis. But I don't get to define God in order to say that God doesn't exist. If you have a God that you're convinced exists, it's your job to present the definition of that God and what makes you think that God exists. It's not up to us to define it.
By the way,
I also want to point out that, like, what you just did is to misunderstand what the word believe actually even means in this context. We said we don't believe that these things exist. It doesn't mean that it couldn't possibly exist. It means we don't have any evidence for it. We have not seen any evidence of it yet. So if you have some evidence for a God, let us know. But you might want to tell us what God you're talking about first. Jimmy, I believe you're about to say the same thing, but go ahead.
You've got the mic exclusively now.
Hell yeah. George, I think was your name. I can't see it, but, like, what God are you talking about and what evidence do you have for it?
Well, we can start with theism is true, and we can work from there. I think
that's assumed by what you're calling about
the Christian God being true. I'm sorry, you
Which version?
me. I wasn't done talking.
Well, no, I would just say it was a silly thing to start with. I'm asking you, you said the Christian God is true. There's 40,000 denominations of Christianity. Which version are you talking about? Are you mean the God of the Bible? Do you mean exclusively the entire Bible? Is the Bible literally true? Is it figuratively true? What are you talking about?
You don't. Okay. Oh boy. I'm talking about the Christian God. The Christian God of the Holy Bible. Are you not familiar with that God?
So I'm just going to repeat the question that I just asked.
Hang on. I'm sorry, Forrest.
No, don't break the model. Don't break the model. It's his exclusive golden mic. Don't break
All right, but make sure you call this guy out for being an idiot for asking if we're familiar with the Christian God.
Oh, no, I'm not even going to do that because I just want to ask the same question that I just asked that George or whatever just dodged is what version of the Christian God are you talking about? Because there's a lot of Christians out there that say the Bible is entirely perfectly true. And there's a lot out there that say that it's got to be interpreted certain ways and some of it's allegorical and some of it's poetic. And there's a lot of Christians that don't say that, like, most of what God did in the Old Testament isn't real and only the New Testament counts. There's some that say that the entire God of the entire Bible is consistent. Which Christian God are you talking about?
I'm sorry, sir, but ontologically there is only one. There either God exists or he does not exist.
Do you believe that the Bible is entirely true or not? That is the question. Do you believe that the Bible is true entirely or not?
Yes, it's entirely true. Some parts are metaphorical. Some parts are literal.
Okay. So then it's not entirely true. Because some parts being metaphorical and some parts being literally means the entire thing isn't literally true, right? So that's why I'm trying to ask you these questions. And it's weird that you can't just answer a straight question about what God you believe in.
Okay. Yeah, I find it weird that you're asking for something you don't believe in, which is empirical evidence for God, and you can't even define the thing that you don't believe in.
This guy.
You are the one making the claim. If I call you, George, if I call you and tell you that leprechauns are real, is it your job to tell me everything that a leprechaun can and can't be before we can have the discussion? Or is it my job to tell you what the fuck I'm talking about before we can have the conversation?
Category error. I'm talking about the ultimate basis of reality. That's a category error. You don't compare leprechauns to God. If you think God's a leprechaun,
I just did.
That's just a noise you're making. You can make the noise you want.
They're both claims. Let's move on because it's very clear that you're not interested in being serious about this. So let's see what you're actually trying to say. It's Matt now. Go ahead.
Well, what I'm trying to say is it doesn't logically follow from the fact that you don't know of any evidence for God that God does not exist.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that's the case, and none of us have claimed that a God doesn't exist. I'm saying that I'm unconvinced that any God exists. I'm unaware of and don't think there's empirical evidence for a God. And it's up to you to say which God you're arguing for and then present the evidence for it. Do you want to do that or not?
Right. So you don't want to argue on a fair playing
I just
field.
asked you a question. The question I just asked you is, do you want to make a case for the God you believe in or not? That's a yes or no question.
Yes. Define what you mean by God.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry that this is too difficult for you, George, but if it's your God that you're going to be defending, you're the one that defines it, not me.
Okay, so you don't have any definition of the thing you do not believe in.
I'm aware of tons of definitions. I'm aware of tons that you're never going to get by talking over me, so you might as well shut the fuck up. I'm aware of tons of definitions of God. I'm not aware of which one you're going to defend. And if you're going to defend one, it's up to you to tell us which one you're going to defend. Are you going to do that, or am I going to ban you again?
Which I already did. Which I already told you.
Whoops, sorry. Bye, bitch. I don't care. I get it. We have like 6 seconds left until something's actually going to happen. This George guy is dishonest. He's been banned from the show for being dishonest. He has no interest in actually presenting a case for his God. He is another one in a long line of apologetic cowards that seem to think that atheists have some burden of proof. Well, we don't, because me not being convinced that your God exists isn't me saying your God doesn't exist. It's saying I'm not convinced. And that means that if you are convinced, you can present your case for it, and then I will either be convinced or I won't be convinced, in which case we're still stuck. But if you can make an actual reasonable case based on empirical evidence for your God, you will be the first. But none of you ever do that. You guys keep calling in. 20 years I've done this. Oh, yeah, 20 years I've done this over and over and over again. And you know what I get? There aren't videos out there going, ooh, Matt's case against God is broken and Matt's a liar and Matt's this. And those videos don't exist. You know why? Because I'm a consistent skeptic who understands epistemology. I understand that the burden of proof is on those that are claiming that a God exists. And we only have 58 seconds left, I guess, until the next thing. The burden of proof is on those who claim that a God exists. And in doing so, if you're convinced that God exists, you need to say, here's the God that I think exists. Here's what his characteristics are. And you don't have to give me every characteristic of a God. You just have to talk about the characteristics that you're going to actually be arguing for. If you say, my God exists outside of space and time, you need to tell us, what is that like? What does that mean? What does it mean for something to exist outside of space and time? Because I don't understand existence absent time. If you'd like to make a case for that, cool. But you didn't. You just wanted to blah, 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 because you think you've got some big gotcha for the atheists. 18 seconds left. Better get some donations in, or I guess the show's going to end. And we're going to end it with the last person that tried to do anything was George, the guy who's consistently dishonest every time he calls in. Oh, by the way, I said I would say this at the start of each one of my things, and I didn't. And that is, hi, I'm Matt. I'm a badass for being here. I have a sty, a rash, new dentures after having all but 3 or 4 of my teeth pulled out on Wednesday. I'm high on pain meds. I'm still in pain, but the Secular Student Alliance needs money, and I'll be here until I can't stand it anymore. So donate to move the mic. Donate to keep us going. Donate to help the SSA. That's the only reason we're here. I will say that there's a caller that... I guess I'll talk to Jimmy privately. See, they're both pointing at themselves and talking. Here's a nice thing. When the mic's on me, I get to talk about whatever I want. I could go take a call. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Levi's calling in from Wyoming to explain that he voted for Trump because the left is insane. You guys are part of the reason. What's insane about the left?
Yeah, so and now you got Jimmy who wanted your ass so much. Okay, go ahead. You said,
yeah. What's up, Jimmy?
Yeah, you said you voted because the left is insane. You guys are part of the reason. As in, first of all, who's you guys?
This show.
Okay, this show, right. So for the very first time ever, after I said nobody calls in to say we changed their mind on it, suddenly we get the call to, but whatever. I'm sure that this is authentic. Now, who is the left?
The Kamala supporters.
Kamala Harris is what you consider the left. So you mean the Democratic Party. So
the Democrats.
So you voted
yes,
against
the
left because of a room, or against the Democrats because of a channel that is staffed by mostly not Democrats. Because almost nobody at this channel
of it.
Almost no one at this channel is a Democrat. So now explain to me, you said you voted, if you had not seen our channel, would you have voted for Kamala, is her name, by the way. You can get her name right, put some respect on her name. You would have voted for Kamala had you not seen this channel. Is that what the position you're saying is?
No, that's not my position.
Okay, great. So you bringing
this is my
up
position.
You guys was already dumb. What is crazy about the left?
I did not add that. Okay, so
yes, you did.
Let me just make some things clear. Okay.
Go ahead.
That's fine.
What's crazy about the left?
Right. So first of all, let me just say, I don't know if the initial screener put this in there, but I'm actually an atheist, and you guys had me voting. Okay, yeah. So, anyways, I was voting. I have to vote for Trump.
Well done.
Exactly.
You voted for
I have
Project
to vote
2025 and Christian nationalism because what? You're afraid that trans women, you might accidentally be attracted to a trans woman. Let's just get to the crux of it. What's your actual problem? People, quickly donate. 16 seconds.
Okay. So, anyways, I know you like to hear yourself talk, but I'm here for it. Anyways,
I just hate
that was
hearing
actually one of
talk.
it. Sure. That was actually a big part of it, right? The trans thing. We went crazy with that.
So almost nobody is trans, and we know from exit polling that virtually nobody actually voted on trans issues. But you're worried that some people might be able to live their authentic self because you don't understand it and you find it icky, and you don't like that there's a reality by which you could see a woman go, ooh, damn, she's hot, then find out she has a penis because the way you have been emasculated by your stupid way of being raised or whatever it was makes you feel like that makes you less of a man. But go on. The trans stuff you're worried about. You needed what to happen for trans people to potentially be legislated out of existence, and that is worth giving up all of the other rights and this country becoming an actual Christian nationalist country. Is that what I should understand from you?
So first of all, that would never happen. Anyone who actually knows American history and government knows that would never happen.
It's already
happening. And then, second of all,
already happening.
Yeah,
what do you mean it would never happen? It is already happening.
It would never happen.
It's happening now. You can't say it would never happen. Right now,
it would never happen to the United States government. It is literally our most fundamental right.
You fucking idiot. It has already happened in state governments, and the federal government isn't stopping it. So this thing of it will never happen, you are just making it
happening right now.
Great. Right now, I live in a state that has vigilante laws against abortions based on religious bullshit. In Florida right now, if you want to get parole early, one of the things the governor will ask you is whether or not, are you saying that it's moved? No, it's not moved yet. Is whether or not you're going to church. That they will actually give you parole early, making sure that you're a good citizen by going to church. There are so many religious leaning laws. I don't know how you're living under a fucking rock. And absolutely, if we have in God we trust on our money, you can have it step by step. You can take the fucking religious freedom away from people.
You like to hear yourself talk, Jimmy.
Dude, I like to answer the fucking question I've been asked, you fucking idiot. But unfortunately for you,
did not.
Unfortunately for you, you're going to have to call back another day because I am not going to listen. Here's the deal. You all have, you guys have seen me stretch the counter a bunch of times. A second, I know the mic is moved, but technically the show is over because several times this has happened. And we keep going past the mark. So I will give everyone until 7:30, 30 minutes past the hour. If you flood the chat right now and we get past 80, and we'll let Forrest start off. If we get $100 now starting now in the next, if we pass $8,500 before we hit 30, we will start again and we will keep going. But otherwise the show is over because everybody kept waiting until it, and I kept stretching it. I think I even gave an extra minute, and I'm sticking to my word here. And we're here to raise money for people. So flood the chat right now. I know. No, 60 seconds is long enough because there's somebody watching who can do $100. All we have to do is break that before the clock hits 7:31, and we will keep going. What's up, Matt?
So there's a guy in chat named Joe Curry who says, this isn't how you raise money. I'm sorry. This network raised $60,000 for Freedom from Religion Foundation, and we've already raised $8,440 before the fundraiser even starts. Maybe before you talk in chat about how to raise money, maybe you should go out and try and do it and learn something, because we're doing it.
Yeah, we are.
I also want to throw out this.
By the way,
this person saying that
$1,700. We are over 10,000 right now.
Holy shit!
Fucking
anonymously too.
Shit.
All right, the show will go on.
Jesus.
And we're gonna kill the timer gimmick for a little while. It will come
back.
That
sounds like a good idea.
It will come back. And if you guys want to
thank you that person
caller to call back, you can. I'm willing to actually just go the three of us open for the while. But did either of you want to talk to that dumbass who wants to say, well, what's an example, and then be mad that he was given examples?
I would have, for sure. The fact that Oklahoma has made it that every single public school classroom must have and teach the Bible. Every single one. And it just so happens to be the Donald Trump Bible. Also, no person who could possibly actually seriously say blank can never happen in America actually understands how this country works, or how civilization works, or how democracy works, or how fucking anything works. You have a dusty old fucking document sitting in a glass case that says these are the rules for the government, and you have a fucking guy who just got elected because this fucker's my god, because this guy voted for him. You have a guy who got elected who literally last time he lost cried so hard that he said we should fucking suspend the Constitution to make sure I win. So it can never happen in America. We have these rules. So I'm going to elect a guy who's actively saying we should get rid of the rules, because it'll never happen. If you can honestly, seriously, with a straight face say anything could never happen in this country, in any country, you fucking need to go open a fucking history textbook. Genocide could never happen. There's no way a whole civilized country could just go murder millions of people, except for all the fucking times that they do. Fuck off.
Very fast. Go ahead, Jimmy. What are you saying? $1,700. Please shoot me an email so we can give you some kind of send a receipt, but some kind of personal thank you back or something. We want to thank you, even though you did it anonymously.
That's amazing.
And I mostly want to thank you for sending the $1,700 right after someone told us that this isn't how we raise money. That's the funniest part of it.
That is very cool of you. That's very cool of you.
Y'all take it while I'm going to step away.
No, I'm down to do more calls. I'm down to continue the show, doing show things.
All right. Well, this guy's calling specifically to talk to you, so that might be a good deal. Dave in Oregon is calling because he talked to you and Jesse about pronouns and linguistics before the election and wants to see if your outlook has changed.
No.
I'm happy to talk to you guys.
No, my outlook on pronouns has not changed since the election. Why would it?
That's not what I asked exactly. We came to an understanding. I really should make sure you remember the conversation. I was asking about.
I don't.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you planning to continue the same conversation?
No, I'm asking.
Then it doesn't matter if anybody remembers the other one, right?
No, he came out with an opinion, and I think the opinion might be different now. So I wanted to remember.
What opinion specifically?
What the opinion is.
Yeah, what opinion specifically are we talking about?
We were talking about the evolution of language and how the Spanish language, for example, has him and her nouns and verbs.
Yes, and Latin language.
It's a gendered
nouns.
Yeah.
Right. And I asked you and Jesse, how long do you think it will take to undo that?
I don't know that it needs to be undone.
So I don't remember this conversation exactly, but like I probably said something hopeful about the fact that like the new generations coming through are going to make this better, and how even scholars of the language that I have studied under have talked about how this is like the Royal Academy of Letters or whatever the hell it is that like is the final dictatorial body of what every language is. And even they are like, kind of leaning in these directions in some instances. And so like, I don't know this firsthand, but like that even scholars of this language are coming out and saying, hey, this is sexist and stupid. I don't think this election is going to change that too much, because as much as the Christo-fascist party really, really wants to do away with academia, there's limits to how much they can stop free thought, at least in the short term that they have. And so I don't think that, I don't think that people and society moving forward, especially if we're talking about the Spanish language, which is not the primary language of America, and is actually spoken by more people around the world than English is going to be majorly affected by Donald Trump's presidency. I think that academia and cultural evolution around the world and linguistic evolution around the world will continue moving in the direction that it has been, and continue becoming more liberal and more free. So no, I don't change my opinion on that at all. It might stifle some progress here in the U.S., but globally, humanity will persist.
That is exactly what you told me last time. And we talked about how the impending election is looking to be going in a good direction for progressives. And
at the time,
and how you think, anyway, what has happened since the election, I've noticed some of the progressives are backpedaling on their support for transgender, etc.
Yes,
and,
for the exact same reason that Marco Rubio used to sell merch that said #NeverTrump and spoke up about how evil of a stupid piece of shit Trump was, and now is a major part of Trump's cabinet sucking Trump's dick every day. I believe that is actually his official job title, is to suck Trump's dick. Because that's what these sycophants do, is they do whatever they have to do to make sure that they are, continuing to be in power. It doesn't matter who they have to suck up to. They are fine to denounce somebody whenever there isn't a good chance of them being their boss. As soon as they are actually their boss, and that is the only way for them to maintain political power, they fall in line with the rest of the sheep. And you see that, yes, with a lot of Democrats as well, who are now backing off of progress, backing off of social progress, backing off of LGBT rights and things like this, because they believe that those are the reasons why they lost the election, was sticking up for people, rather than the fact that they fucking refuse to talk about actual solutions to everyday problems, and instead run their entire campaign talking about their opposition. And also, we don't mention the fact that it doesn't fucking matter how good or how bad Kamala's campaign could have been. She could have run the best fucking presidential campaign in the world. She was running up against a white penis. It wasn't going to happen, because this country is racist and sexist as fuck. And so, I do think that the political parties that we have will continue doing what they're always going to do. Republicans are going to continue pulling us farther and farther to the right, and Democrats will continue to just make sure we don't go any further left. And things will continue ratcheting to the right further and further until we get better political parties and we make more effective change. However, them throwing trans people under the bus, I don't think is going to win them any elections. It may get them talked about more, but that's about it. And I think that we the people, will continue moving in the proper direction and eventually kick their asses out of office. That is my hope.
I don't have any hope.
Mine too.
Of anything remotely like that anymore.
All right.
And I'll explain briefly why. First of all, the nature of politics has changed, and the nature of information with the internet has changed, and people aren't as impressed by the facts, nor are they convinced that they have the facts, or some of them are convinced they have the facts when they don't. But right now, the Republicans on January 20th will control all branches of government, including the Supreme Court. They don't have to make it illegal to vote. They don't have to make it only Republicans can vote as a law. They can enact voter reform and voter ID legislation and all kinds of things, everything that they can possibly do to make it more difficult, if not virtually impossible, for anyone other than Republicans to get elected. That includes massive gerrymandering of districts and everything else. The Democrats, which, it's a two-party system. You only really had two options. It'd be nice if we could change that. I don't see any path at all to changing that. I don't see any path to getting to ranked choice voting. I don't see any path to even talk about moving the Democratic Party, because there are people who are like, oh, it needs to go further left. Well, the fact is, the people who are further left in vote, even if you added them to the ones that were with the Democrats, you don't have enough to make any change. The ones, the third party voters, the Jill Stein voters that are, thinking they're further left when they're really just a part of a grift, add those to the Democrats and you still don't beat Trump. And the other thing is that you've got this fight going on with the Democrats of, should we go more left and try to get, the left people, or should we go more centrist? And the movement, the traditional understanding of the movement, continues to move centrist, because that's the only place that you have any hope of getting Republican leaning and right leaning voters. Now, what's the right thing to do strategically? That may be different from what the right thing is to do morally and ethically, right up until we figure out what's actually going to work. But I don't see the Dems going any further left, and I don't see any good reason for them to do so, because it's not going to get them a win. It would be the right thing to do from my perspective with regard to my politics, because like the guys I'm here with, I'm somewhere in the neighborhood of socialist of some stripe, but the Democrats have no reason to go to the left because it's not going to give them votes. And they only have a reason to go to the center if it's working, and it's not. So I think they're dead.
I actually don't agree with Matt on this. I don't agree with Matt on this. I don't think you call it going to the left. I don't
Jimmy,
think you.
I can't really hear you or the caller.
Oh shit.
Forrest volume is louder. When I turn you guys up and Forrest speaks, it blows out my ear.
Somebody told Matt I agreed with him 100%.
Yeah, I will hear in just a second. Let me see if
I heard him.
I don't know.
It's just really quiet.
I don't know. I don't see it.
Well, maybe it's just that Forrest is loud, and so when I turned it down.
That is also true. I am just a loud person.
All right, hang on.
Yeah.
Your mic is incredibly
I can
high.
take him down at least.
I haven't changed.
Yeah, I just took you down. Hopefully that's say stuff. Let's see how bad you are now.
Is this better for everybody?
It's closer to better. At least I didn't have to take my headphones
Yeah,
off.
I'm really
I'll take it down even more.
what
All right.
Jimmy has to say.
All right, cool. Yeah. So Dave, I actually don't agree with I think that the reason why it seems like conventional wisdom is like, why go left when center is where the votes are? I don't think center is where the votes are, because people are mistaking it as a team thing. Like if you go left, you're saying, oh guys, we mean only Democrats and socialists vote for us. I don't think that's the way you go left. I think the way you go left is you go after workers, and you actually become a workers' party again. I think if somebody ran on Medicare for all, paid family leave, raising the minimum wage, you would see an explosion, because it's a populist sort of thing of support, not just amongst Democrats, not just amongst the people who are already going to agree with us, but you actually would see people from the right. And this is why you can actually go and poll all of these people and see there were lots of people who liked Bernie and then they liked Trump, because they went where they thought the workers were going to be supported. Now, Trump has fooled them, but I actually think if you make it a workers' party movement, going left actually works very well. You don't, I'm not saying lead off of like go so far left that we're saying, okay, we're trying to become the socialist country tomorrow. But I actually think Bernie Sanders had a real shot. And I think that Bernie Sanders would have beaten Trump this time around, because people authentically would believe that workers' rights would be preserved. And if you actually look at movements in other similar democracies, as long as you actually deliver, and that's usually when the further left parties start to fail, when they come up and they're getting more popular because they're saying, fucking workers, we're here for you. You built this country. We're here for you. And it's bullshit the amount of money your bosses are allowed to make and not give you a living wage. That populism does build up, but then if they don't deliver, they get ejected and they try to go back towards something conservative.
So Jimmy doesn't disagree with me.
Oh, that
I agree with what you said. I agree with what you just said.
Yeah, I would go left. I would definitely not.
You're not saying go left. You're not going left to what the left was considered in this election. You are coming up with a new plan to go after workers, which may or may not be left. But the left Jill Stein path is not going to get enough voters, which is what I said while you were away, to sway anything. And the general typical wisdom of moving towards the center to try and get voters clearly does not work and has not worked. But there's no reason for the Democrats to go either the Jill Stein direction or the center, because they're dead right now, unless you come up with a new plan, which is basically what you described.
Go the Bernie direction. Yes. I don't think Bernie and Jill are the same direction at all.
I don't either, which is why I mentioned Jill and not Bernie.
Yeah, I didn't hear the Jill part. Otherwise, yeah, you're right. We wouldn't have disagreed.
You could always just dissect the country.
Well, yeah, that's cool. Can I interject one little thing I heard?
Yes.
I heard that AOC pulled her pronouns off of her website. That's the kind of regression that I was starting to talk about that we're seeing on the left. I'm not 100% sure that's accurate, but you see what I'm saying is that
I'm sad she fell for it, but yes,
back.
Right now the Democrats are doing everything but blaming themselves. And it's sad that she is participating in their sort of new analysis of this is the thing that made us unpopular. Because the fact of the matter is they voted on eggs. They voted on bread. They didn't vote as much as they voted in the last election. And the margin is smaller than the last election, even though America tried to do something that no non-African country has ever done, and even only one African country has ever done. We tried to elect a black woman by the population. There's only been one black head of state elected by the population in the entire world. It was in Liberia. We tried to do something exceptional, and we failed to do that. Popular vote wise, it's looking less than 3 million votes. But that is exceptional, and that is exciting that I guess we got that close. This is just the time to maybe not have taken. Well, I don't want to say not taking that chance. I don't want to say it was a mistake to put a black woman at the top of the ticket. I think Michelle Obama would have probably done even better than Harris did. But at the end of the day, right now, the idea of taking the pronouns off, because what? How many people, literally look at the polling, how many people actually voted based on pronouns? And by the way, I think it's funny people are saying that that's what happened in 2024. Like, I don't remember 2020. The rhetoric stuff was worse.
I also said the same thing, by the way.
Okay, in 2020, we were all indoors. The only thing we were doing was canceling each other all the time. Trust me, I got my taste. I got a share of it. It was fucking like the 2020 was worse because people couldn't go do anything, and so they just fought online. It was actually worse, and yet somehow that wasn't the time that they voted on pronouns. That wasn't the time. In fact, it was in 2020 in a debate or in a town hall where Kamala Harris actually introduced herself with her pronouns at a town hall with Chris Cuomo. That was the time it was much more on display. She didn't talk about trans shit this time around. And so people pretending it's that, when in reality what it is the cishet white male won again, but convinced everybody else that what's good for them is good for everybody else. And over the next 4 years, they're going to find out that wasn't true. I see a sharp pendulum swing back, provided we get to have an actual fair election again. I don't think they've realized that, they're going to get 4 years of fun, but now you're setting new precedents. You're not going to be so happy you set 4 years from now.
So I also mentioned while you were gone, I said the same thing. Is like, it doesn't matter how good or how bad her campaign was. Her opponent was a white penis. That is the end of the election in this country. We are racist and sexist as fuck here.
Well, Jimmy
AOC removed AOC updated her bio on X to remove the pronouns, but she hasn't removed them from Instagram because it's part of that service where you just enter them and it just shows up. She's also, this happened less than 24 hours ago, and she's also catching a lot of heat for it. I hope that she puts them back. Not that they're essential, but just as a statement that there's absolutely nothing about having your pronouns listed in your bio that is remotely a problem ever for anybody. You can ignore them most of the time. They're just there because there are some people who have pronouns that might be different from the default assumed pronouns people might suspect by just seeing them or reading their name or whatever else. I hope she gets past this. I don't know it seems strange to me that if the right is celebrating that we're finally coming out of the woke cloud, and you know it's getting better when AOC removes the pronouns from her bio, when that's the message, I think it's pretty clear that was a mistake.
Yep, absolutely. But gentlemen, I've had fun hearing your perspectives, but I have a question. I forget what SSA stands for.
Secular Student Alliance.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Gentlemen, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate your perspectives.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dave.
Take care.
All right. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
There was a caller that we decided not to take. I'm not going to say their name, but they had called in with no atheist or theist thing listed, and with the pronouns I, we, us. Now, I, we, and us are first person pronouns, and generally when we're asking someone for their preferred pronouns, we're looking for second person pronouns. This person also said that they were going to present a syllogism for God that explains Russell's paradox. And this is why I said I have zero interest in talking to them, because first of all, syllogisms don't explain things. They are an argument for a particular position. And an argument for God existing doesn't in any way resolve Russell's paradox or avoid it. It's just an assertion. But even if you think that there's a syllogism out there for God that also solves Russell's paradox, go and publish it, because I'm unconvinced that that is the case. And it is a waste of time, most of the time, to take someone who is so clearly confused about what a syllogism is, what it does, and pronouns. When you get the basic pronoun stuff wrong, it would be a waste of the audience's time to have to sit here and explain, hey, Russell's paradox is this notion that does a set of all things include itself? Does a set of sets that include themselves include the set of all sets? And then you'd have to go through and describe paradox and all this other stuff. And in nowhere in this is there anything related to a God, nor does the existence of a God necessarily resolve Russell's paradox. And I can prove that in some sense, just for the person, not for everybody out there, but for the person who was calling in. If I grant that God exists, pick a God, the existence of that God, you'd need to demonstrate how that resolves a paradox. And generally speaking, we don't tend to call something a paradox if there's a resolution to it. And if the resolution is a fictional being could serve as a foundation to resolve this, that still doesn't demonstrate that it's been resolved and that being exists. There we go. I just wanted to get my little tirade out.
I don't understand syllogisms. Sorry, I was using the caller's pronouns. Oh. I don't understand. Anyway.
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought it was funny. Thank you.
We don't understand them.
Mm-hmm.
I typed this into the chat thing, but I'll just ask you directly here, Jimmy. Do you think there's appropriate for me to take a 15-minute break to drive back to my house because my power is back on and I can actually be on the computer? Or do you think we should keep going this way? What do you think? What do you prefer?
I think we should just take the last call and wrap up. I mean, we've been here since 6. We're almost at 8. We're almost at 2 hours. I feel good about what we did here tonight. So I would love to see people flood the donations, again, with small donations, big donations, and whatever. But otherwise, I think that the person who donated the $1,700 cleared out any need to rely on some gimmicks. And I hope we see everybody here tomorrow for it's going to be a lot of games, a lot of fun. We'll probably throw calls in the mix as well. And there's going to be a lot of giveaways. There's going to be a lot of stuff given away. It won't necessarily be given away on the show, but every hour we're going to have 3 different individuals, and they are going to be fighting. They're going to be not fighting is not necessarily the right word, but they're going to be competing. That's the right word. They're going to be competing, and whoever wins each hour of the games we have, they're going to get to give away something however they want to. They might do it on their own channel. They might do it right then. They might do a call-in thing, whatever. And then the person who wins the whole day gets the most points. And the way we get points, the way people are going to be given points is going to be donation-based. and it's hilarious and awesome. But then I don't know how to raise money according to the chatter.
I only
Anyway.
got to argue with one silly like Christian. Like there was only one Christian who wanted to be silly with me, and I feel like cheated. You know what I mean?
Yeah. By the way, I enjoy every time I look down at the production screen here, because what those of you at home can't see is that you put in your own name here, and Forrest's name on my screen is fuck. In fact, I believe can't I just change the settings of this where it shows our names? I don't remember where that exact setting is, but on is it in banners? Is it in brand? And it shows whatever name you wrote. Settings. Let's see. General. Whatever. This isn't that cool if I'm gonna keep all right. Fuck it. Anyway,
quality content.
Yeah. We're gonna do one more chat. We're gonna do one more donation flood at the end here, but we'll take a call before we go. Steve, this one's going to be a hard one for all of us. Steve in Pennsylvania, you're on the line with, actually, I know what answer I would give. With Jimmy, Matt, and Forrest. You're going to get all three of us. You're our last call of the night, and I like your call. I like your question.
Well, that's good. Yeah. I'm watching local religious channels on TV periodically, and these people are pulling out a book and, going through the pages and saying, this is what's true. And this, it's, born, 6-day creation. And I just believe these people are nuts. I hate to say the word stupid, but, I can't believe they believe this. In fact, my younger brother believes this, 6-day creation.
I used to believe it.
I will tell it. Yeah.
Was I nuts?
Yes.
when you say nuts, do you mean mentally ill?
No, just like not thinking well.
Sure.
Uneducated.
Sure. Colloquially, if you believe something that's silly, you've got some flawed mechanism in your brain. Are you immune from that, Steve?
Am I immune from could you repeat it, please?
Are you immune from having flawed mechanisms in your brain that cause you to believe things that aren't true?
Oh, not at all. No, I'm not immune to that.
Me neither. And so while I think I was stupid, and I'm speaking colloquially, I mean, obviously I'm a reasonably intelligent person, but when it comes to religion, I was stupid. When it comes to my personal finances, I'm still stupid. We're all stupid about something at some point. This isn't the issue. It's like, oh, how do people believe this? I'm more worried about how 50% of the country managed to skip all of the facts and all of the information and still, or 50% of those who voted still vote for Trump. I think there's a bigger danger right now than whether or not somebody goes to church on Sunday and thinks that grandma's in heaven. The only way that those two things are kind of aligned is that we have people actively working to instantiate Christian nationalism, and Trump is going to be their puppet to do that. And so that makes him doubly dangerous because he's an idiot, a liar, a traitor, a thief, a con man, a rapist, and he's the conduit to allow Christian nationalism to take over. So while I would agree that people who buy into, young earth creationism are being stupid, and flat earth being stupid, and there's still something about this notion that just because anybody could and potentially has believed this doesn't tell you much. There's something else going on beyond just gullibility.
Okay.
Steve,
I wanted to add one little.
Well,
go ahead.
If I might just respond to the question as it is so far, and I think the way it's worded in the notes is the best. Basically, how do you avoid thinking of religious people as stupid? And I will say that I also had that issue, and what Matt just described is all right, but it's not what made me change my perspective on religious people. What changed my perspective on whether religious people are stupid was hanging out with a lot more non-religious people.
True.
And doing call-in shows like this, where I assure you, stupid atheists are alive, well, and thriving. There are plenty of them. And so, if anything, my attitude has just shifted to stupid people are stupid.
Yep.
That's
facts.
Yeah.
I would also just point out, like,
point.
Matt brought up, like, he used to believe this. My wife used to believe this. Plenty of people in my friends and family and all these things used to believe this, or still do. Some of them. I just remembering how these things are propagated. Religion is a form of abuse. You're telling children that they are disgusting, disease, broken, sinful, evil things, and that the best thing that could possibly happen to them is that they get burned forever. But I guess there's this magic love that's different than every other kind of love because it's entirely conditional, and it'll save you from the eternal torment that the thing that loves you is so prepared to do to you if you don't love it back. That's abuse. And so people who believe this were abused, and then they tell it to their children because that's how this cycle of abuse works. They think this is the good way to be and the only way to be, and it's passed on and on and on. And so, like, people believe horrific things. And to Matt's point, if somebody can make you believe absurdities, they can also make you commit atrocities, and that's a very, very serious thing. And I think that things like voting for Trump and being Christian, there's a lot of overlap there and why those belief systems happen.
Yeah.
But those are all things to just take into account and remember that, like, before you write these people off as just stupid and crazy and ignorant and silly and all these things, before you laugh at them too hard, remember that, as Matt pointed out, you are not immune to these same biases. And also, these people are victims. These people were abused. These people were taught horrible things and taught that the only way to be a good person is to buy into those horrible things 100%. And anybody who questions it is terrified that they are going to be punished for all eternity because they questioned it. That is how this kind of shit works. So yes, what they believe is ridiculous and crazy and horrible and stupid and all these things, but they themselves are just good people who are very scared and are victims and need to be treated with compassion.
I think we need to destigmatize being stupid. And I was playing this in a slightly different way.
I wouldn't have a job otherwise.
Well, this is there are kids who won't go up to the chalkboard. There are kids who won't raise their hand in class. When the teacher asks them, hey, do you know this? They are afraid to say the wrong answer because then they'll look stupid. They're afraid to go up to the chalkboard and work a problem. They are afraid to give any appearance of being stupid. I think if we destigmatize stupid in the sense of uninformed, ignorant, wrong, erroneous, and point out that all of us are there and that it's the mistakes that you make that allow you to figure out where you were wrong so you can stop being wrong. That's what I mean by destigmatizing stupid. I'm all in favor of let's call out every bit of irrational gullibility and bad thinking and identify it for what it is and make it so that when you get caught saying something that is demonstrably irrational, that instead of just feeling bad for getting it wrong, you can change your mind and be applauded for that. And say, okay, now you're getting it.
As if stupid was any more stigmatized than it was, I would not have a career because I am professionally stupid, and I need that. I need that to survive.
Nobody wants to hear that from you, man. Literally, you're like the smartest person almost anybody knows. No one wants to.
Have you seen the shit that I do?
Oh,
it's incredibly dumb.
I'm not saying I'm saying the audience doesn't. I've walked you through tech support. I've been your tech support. I know where your stupid blind spots are, friend. Anyway, go ahead.
Hey, I wanted to say that 20 years ago, I would have considered myself stupid based on the way I think now. And the only reason I changed is I joined the local Pittsburgh free thought community, and they have a book club, and they reintroduced me to science and biology and astrobiology and all these, things that I haven't thought about for years, and I've become more educated. And that's why I just think, I was stupider then, and I'm still stupid on a lot of stuff. But I feel like I'm smarter with this stuff. I want to just, one more thing I wanted to mention. Nationally, there's not a lot I can do as a person to make any change what's going on. Locally, I did join the Pine Township Democratic Committee. I got involved with a school board that was trying to ban books locally. And I think we have to think of the long game, building it from the base up, like the Republicans did 20, 30 years ago with, what's his name, Leon or Leo, whatever his name is.
Panetta?
This is not going to happen. No. Leo Letta or something, the guy that bankrolled all, that figured out years ago that the Christians were going to lose on the social issues, and they had to, fight at the local community level and get involved with the school boards and build it up from there. And they've been successful at that. One thing I did locally, and I just this past week, I was out shopping in the parking lot. It's raining. I got out of my car with me. I have a large umbrella, and this little old lady, doesn't have an umbrella, and she's walking around in the rain, like looking for her car. I said, "Hey, you need any help?" And this mother lady came and helped, and we're helping this lady find her car. And it was a while when we did that. And she was the way we're going to her car. I said, I got to thank God 100 times. You guys are so wonderful. I'm so blessed. And and I'm thinking to myself, should I tell her I'm an atheist? I'm debating it. So at the very end, she's getting in the car, and I said, "Oh, by the way, I'm an atheist." And isn't it interesting to learn to meet somebody who's nice and kind, and they're an atheist, and it's just a little tidbit I left in her mind, and not that's going to change her mind on anything, but my moniker on some of my emails now, I say I'm a joyful atheist, and most of the time I'm not really that joyful, but if you keep saying something long enough, like Trump says, you eventually believe it. And because I think we have to start thinking that we're, even though I think we're pretty low on the totem pole as far as, who people think highly of. I think we're just above socialists or something like that. We have to make a change on how people look at us.
Yeah.
And I think being out there in the public and saying the word atheist and not being afraid of it. So
that's what we're here for.
Definitely. That's that sort of thing. I would love to make a video someday of thank you so much, Steve. I would love to make a video someday. I don't know the context in which I can do this that would be productive, but if I were to talk to Christians the way that they talk to me, that would be because I have had so many people say, "Oh, you're an atheist? I thought you were smart. Oh, you're an atheist, but you're so nice. You're an atheist. I guess you're not the man I thought you were." I've had so many of those, and I would love to can you imagine if I talked to a Christian that way? It'd be so crazy.
I agree. I thought you were smart one is wild. Why did that happen?
Tabby.
That's not what we wanted.
You blew it.
I don't care. Arden's little thing can be there. That's fine by me. Arden, you're with us now.
Hello.
The mics. Yeah. All right, people. Here's what it's gonna happen. Here's what I'm thinking. Let me find one with a media deal that I can put up here. Is this one? Nope, that's not it.
No, leave it that way. Just Arden's thumbnail.
It's my show now.
All right. So right now we are at 10:05:06. We'll stay and we'll talk about stuff, but we're doing the 60-second counter again thing. And so everybody, how I like to try and flood the chat with donations as fast as possible. Well, here's how we're going to do it. We'll keep going as long as y'all keep doing $100 per 60 seconds. Do I expect it? Maybe we'll get 1 extra minute. Maybe we'll get none extra, but I'll stay here all night for $100 a minute is what it comes down to.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, not everybody.
And I will too. I'll just probably be unconscious at some point from the medication and the pain.
There you go.
I'm in the mobile recording studio, but I've got some piss cups in here somewhere, and I've got to get there's fast food around. $100 a minute. I'll do this all day, no problem.
Arden, what I'm going to do is just add yourself back to the stage if you need to say anything to us, just because it was. Oh, I thought it would change the sizes here. Let me edit this layout. Because we don't need it.
See, now somebody makes me want to grow my hair back just because they don't want to live in a world where I'm not bald.
I fucking shaved for the first time in over 10 years. And I look like a little boy. Look at me.
And what's funny is you also looked that way before you shaved.
Damn it.
He's got a point.
I usually just do stubble, but I went out and got a shave. I had a man shave my face for me because I don't do it right.
Somebody asked me.
A little guy.
somebody in chat was like, as a fellow bald man, are you more jealous of Jimmy's hair or Forrest's hair? And I'm like, I'm not jealous of any fucking hair. I shaved my head long before it was too thin to use. I like my head the way it is. They both have a good head of hair, but I'm not jealous of it.
You think it takes being
Not
bald
jealous
to be
of
jealous
any
of my
hair? Not any at all.
You both.
You should see my long, flowing, and perfectly braided pubes, Matt. They're glorious.
That's another question that came up. Somebody was like, is that an id thing? Yes. So this is a Quake 3 Arena jersey.
Nice. Did you used to play that competitively?
Yeah. There's my gamer tag on the back.
Nice.
No, I ran the #1 Counter-Strike team in the world. I was at QuakeCon 97 when there were only like less than probably 70 of us there at QuakeCon 97.
Man.
And I used to be among the best first-person shooter players on the planet. Now I'm old and I suck, but at least I've got a good head and a good jacket jersey out of it.
Okay, actually, here, I'm going to try this. Let's find out if people will put their money where their mouth is actually here. So one person just offered something.
Mouth money,
and
go.
I'm looking at that going like, fuck yeah. All right, so listen. If tag the line so I can see it highlighted in the chat. If you are willing to donate $100 in response to us, the three of us answering some question, because somebody in the chat, I just saw it a moment ago, and Marone Pater said they will give $100 if the three of us give our prediction for the fight between Jake Paul and
Isn't it happening
Mike
already?
Tyson. No, well, it started, yes, but they're the final fight, so it won't have. The event has started, but they probably won't fight till like 10 or 11, I imagine.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right, my predictions.
Donate $100. I'll say things.
I'm saying Mike Tyson.
I think either. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing.
I think either Jake Paul gets beaten by Mike Tyson and no one is surprised, or Jake Paul just beat up an old man and he doesn't look good either way. There's no outcome to this that makes him look like a good fighter or a good person. Just dumb. And fuck yeah, Mike Tyson for keeping at it at this age and being this cool.
No, fuck Mike Tyson.
To be fair,
fuck Mike Tyson.
To be fair, Tyson is a piece of shit rapist that I wish we'd never have to hear from again.
Yeah.
But
agreed on all counts. I'm just saying, good for him for being this in shape and for stepping up to the good for him as an athlete. Fuck him as a person. But like, you saw how quick he was on the stand when they went toe to toe, and I. Oh, no. Both of them are awful people. It's two terrible people fighting. It's two terrible people in a competition to see who's best at punching other terrible people.
That's the only fighting I actually like anymore. I mean, I got my problems with my issues with like football and other sports, and anytime there's pugilism stuff, because people are going to get concussions and all this. But I'm also in favor of freedom. So if you want to go in there and fight, you should be allowed to fight. But the only fights I actually enjoy are when two genuinely fucking awful people try to beat the shit out of each other voluntarily. Now I can just have a nice evening.
It is funny how you measure like how big a piece of fuck they are, because like Jake has similar bad things that he's at least been accused of, just not ever convicted of. So I'm like, but there's other reasons why Jake's terrible. But like, Mark Zuckerberg is a garbage human being, but he's not as big of garbage a human being as Elon Musk is. So I do want to see that fight, but I also want Zuckerberg to win.
You would be rooting for Zuckerberg,
but I would also root for him to at least get a black eye out of the whole thing. Anyway, that's your answer. I think Matt and I said you need to pick one though. You can't. Forrest, I feel like you said
I will also say that I'm predicting Tyson. Admittedly, I am also We're all on Team Tyson here.
Tyson punches.
And if Tyson loses right after Kamala lost, then there's no justice in the universe, and we should all just go to bed. Like that. You know what I mean?
Give the instructions again, because I've seen multiple people now not get this right. Tag the line, so you type at THE space LINE and say for $100, and then just put what your question is. We'll answer the question, then you donate the 100. We'll answer first. We're going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're going to, as long as if there's just random names that we don't really recognize or trust, we maybe won't. But we've seen a lot of you in chat before, and as long as the 100's coming in, which by the way, So far, the first $100 that we were promised, now that we 3 have had, hasn't come in yet. I assume it's about to, but let's get that 100 in. And we'll do that. Otherwise, we're gonna start the 60-second timer thing, because I don't see what's going on. So, okay, Jimmy and Forrest. No. Not tag us with questions. Tag us with 100 or however much you're offering to donate.
Can you type something in chat as an example so that maybe they could fucking see it? Also, once again, StreamYard locked up and then unlocked, so I'm back.
My wife just texted me and said, "Ew, don't put Tyson and Kamala together like that."
Yes.
She's still watching. I'm all the way over here in the Valkai Labs mobile stream unit, and she's just back at home being a sweet lady.
Okay.
Love that woman.
Forrest, what do you think about the biology book Sociobiology? And apparently Edward and the Batman are both going to donate $100 if you will answer that question.
A biology book called Sociobiology. I don't know anything about what that is. I can't look it up. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe don't donate $100 because I don't have an answer for you.
No, do donate $100. What the fuck? That's
not
for the person
fair.
who said it earlier.
No,
that's how you don't raise money.
No, that's how you actually do raise money, because now the person can be like, you know what, he tried and I'll give the $100 anyway. Or say, let me ask a different question to be more clear. That way people get what
precisely. Yeah, that'd be great.
Want people, if somebody's going to give $100, I want them to get their $100 worth.
They hadn't donated yet. I'm just saying you don't have to say don't donate.
Well, I don't want them to feel pressured and like, well, I guess I already promised. I didn't get a satisfactory answer. He doesn't know what the book is because he's in a fucking car.
Sociobiology and the New Synthesis by Edward O. Wilson.
That sounds familiar.
E.O. Wilson?
Yeah. That sounds really familiar. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what I think about it. I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever read it. But sociobiology is fucking cool. I just bought a textbook on animal behavior and behavioral evolution and shit like that. And it ties all that in. And it's really fun. E.O. Wilson's also very famous for a lot of good reasons, so check him out. Yeah, I have no good answer for this question. I'm sorry. I don't know this book off the top of my head. I don't think I've ever actually read it.
Okay, so
I've read stuff about it.
Wells Raid is apparently going to answer the question. We'll give $100 if we answer the question. Who would win in a boxing match, Trump or Harris? And I'll tell you, I'd actually give that one to Harris. Trump looks like he's made of glass old. At this point. Yeah,
he's old and he would fall over.
I think
Harris would actually move.
Correct.
If you bop up in there in some flats, he'd be wearing his fucking dumb loafers, and he would just lean forward until he collapsed.
Matt, who would you pick in that fight?
Kamala.
Yeah. Yep. Well,
yeah.
All right.
She's got age, speed, reach. Her mind isn't blown out on cocaine. She knows how to read. Like, she's got so many advantages. All 5 senses are working. Also, like that. She slept well last night. Those are all things that she has up on him.
I'm very confused. I'm being told. Okay, thank you, the Batman, for donating the $100 and keeping your promise there. I very much appreciate that. Wells, thank you also for giving what I imagine is roughly 100. I don't know how to convert New Zealand dollars, but I think you got it. It looks like Dr. Space Monkey gave 100 Canadian dollars. Did we miss a question from Dr. Space Monkey? Dr. Space Monkey, let me go and see if I can have a look for it. I don't see it if you did. So just write it again here and make sure to tag at the line. All right, Madcap 2003. You didn't tag, but okay, that's okay. Madcap will donate $100 if the 3 of us tell them our favorite band album. For me, I'm gonna probably give it to. Well, it's hard. It's between Queen and Green Day, to tell you the truth, because that's the 2 I listen to the most. and I would say American Idiot's probably my favorite album.
I don't know albums. I barely.
What was the question one more time?
Favorite band and album.
Okay, so anybody who's ever been in my Twitch chat knows that the question I hate more than anything is, what's your favorite X? Because 99% of the time, I don't have a favorite X. I might have a favorite X this minute that goes away, but you know what? Fuck it. Favorite band and album. Pink Floyd, Animals.
That's good. Yeah.
Social Distortion, whichever one has Give Me the Sweet and Lowdown on it, because that's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Is it about
and they're
Splenda?
Also one of my favorite bands.
Oh no, sorry,
it is
Sweet
not.
and Low.
Yeah. Yeah, it does sound like, if you don't listen, it's like Give Me the Sweet and Low Now instead of Give Me the Sweet and Low Down. But yeah, Give Me the Sweet and Low Down by Social Distortion is like one of my favorite songs ever. I can listen to that shit on repeat for the rest of my life.
Thank you very much to the Dr. Space Monkey, giving $100 just to donating to SSA and getting very high. Don't worry about it. Well, that's the best way to donate right before you get very high. That's the best way to do it. Then you can really, really enjoy it. Let's see if anybody else is offering $100 for a little special question here. Otherwise, I think we're going to start the timer up, and it looks like almost everybody except the first person who said they would donate $100. That's the only person I feel like I haven't seen it from, and obviously
I feel that might have been hyperbole on their part, and then you roped them into an actual agreement that they didn't agree to.
I feel that the context of the stream makes it such that presuming
it's Matt.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to do. One of these was pretty good earlier. That's the one we'll do. All right. Unless we see more $100 questions come in, we will. Oh, we had two other $100 donos that. Did we answer all the questions for? Did we miss any questions? I'll let Colossia tell me. But yeah, Space Monkey and Wells, that I saw those. Wells got their question answered. The Batman did. We're at 10,883 people. So let's go ahead and do another flood. Let's do another flood. I'm going to start the timer in a moment. And this time, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start the timer. Wherever you are, when you see it hit 0, press donate. And we're just going to see how much. Oh, the marble machine's not done. Somebody asked where the marble machine. I'm still working on it. I'll do that on another stream or something. But anyway, when you see it hit 0, let's go ahead and flood the chat. So everybody go ahead and get ready. You're going to hit the donate button. It's that little heart with hands looking thing right next to the chat. You're going to select donate now. I'm going to send another $20. I'm up to 60 for the night. I'm going to click continue. And now that is up and ready to go. So I'm going to hit play on the countdown. And wherever you are, we're not going to end at the end of 60 seconds this time. Not yet, because I want to see how much we can do. Everybody, if you can flood $1, $5, $10, whatever it is, when that hits 0, hit the donate button. If you're at the continue button, click that so that you're ready to hit the donate. We got about 40 seconds. And I just want to see how offset it is by people's time. By the way, if you're watching this after the fact, you can still donate. The thing will be open. The event will be open for a while, that you'll still be able, the campaign still about 28 seconds. We're all going to click donate at the same time. And we're going to see how much we can throw this over $11,000 because we are really, really close to it. Let's do it. Let's get that going. I'm seeing, let me reference the name down in my screen here. Fuck is over there, just rubbing his hands together. Real excited.
Like a fly.
It's good to see Fuck excited here. We got 5, 4, 3, get ready to click donate. 1, donate, people. Flood that chat, hit the donate, get it going. Obviously, I
can't see what's happening, but I'm excited.
So far, I've donated. Lone Drow donated. Let's see. Come on, flood it, flood it, flood it, flood it. $1, $5, $10. You can still do it. You still got time. Here we go. Here we go. Here comes the flood. Yeah, there was a few second delay. I think that shows us how offset the live is from people in the chat who are watching. Boom. Keep going, people. We haven't even hit 11 yet. We're close. We're real close. Is that it? Are we over 11? We're getting close. People, flood it. $1, $2, $5, $10. Flood, flood, flood it. Let's end the pre-show. Let's go into tomorrow knowing that we're like a third of the way there. I mean, because we're already close to that. Thank you so much, Nathan. Very generous, $50. Thank you, everybody who's giving. If you're giving $1, $2, let's give a couple. Twilight, thank you. $1, hell yeah, hell yeah. There's a lot more from Anonymous. Nikki, thank you for 10. Hystario, Smart Alec Atheist again. Let's flood this chat. Flood it full. Flood it full. We can do better. We can do better. Madcap, did you get my 100? Was having troubles. I'm not sure whether or not we did. I would check if you have an email receipt that says you did. If you got an email receipt, then yeah, we got it. Go ahead and finish that flooding. Where are we at? We're at $11,076. $11,076.
Holy crap.
Julia, thank you.
That's just awesome, by the way. I mean, I know, starting tomorrow, at 2 p.m. Central, I think is right.
Yep.
Yeah, tune back in. We're going to have lots of fun and everything else. Hopefully, I will then be one more day removed from having my entire mouth removed. And maybe I won't be quite as high on pain meds. And maybe I'll be able to speak without slurring my words and having all kinds of mouth pain. But for the person in chat who said, what's your chess rating? I only play Bullet, and I'm like 930, 940 right now in Bullet. I don't study. I don't practice. I don't care about rating. I just play Bullet for fun.
I also, like, a way that I can help out. We have here in Tulsa, we have Tulsa Community College. We have the University of Tulsa. We have Oklahoma State University of Tulsa. We have an Oklahoma State University of Oklahoma Tulsa. We have a lot of colleges right here in Tulsa and universities. I'm sure some of them have an SSA as well. If there's a Secular Student Alliance at one of the universities or colleges here in Tulsa, give me a shout and let's talk about, like, maybe I can do a thing for you guys, like a show, a little personal, like come give a talk for you guys, something like that. Because I'm in a fucking car, so I can't donate, but maybe I can donate some time. So call me.
Green Day isn't terrible. You're terrible. All right, I'm gonna hit. We're gonna hit the timer. So as we said before, we'll round this up. We're at $11,098, so we'll say 11,100. Every time that goes up by 100, we will keep going. We'll reset the timer. So we're gonna stay on as long as this is going, but you got to flood it in right now if you want us to keep going. We're at 11,098. We'd have to be at 11,200. Forrest, what is your favorite color of socks to wear?
Literally, unless I'm wearing like dress shoes, all of my socks are just black because I wear combat boots, and so they're just regular black cotton socks.
I also tend to wear.
I'm very
black
boring
socks.
In this way.
Matt doesn't like favorite questions, and yet Matt, same question.
I tend to wear gray or black socks. The most important thing for me is not the color of the sock; it's that they are no-shows.
Y'all, we're ending in 20 seconds if you don't flood this chat with. It can be okay. Maybe I need to reset the understanding. It doesn't have to be individual $100 donations. Okay,
so doing anything for you?
It can be 50 people doing $2 donations. So I'll give you the 60 seconds. The two that just came in, they'll count toward it. Still, it's 11, 12. So flood it with 1, 5, 10, whatever. Forrest, what is your favorite preparation? What is your favorite thing containing bananas that isn't just eating a banana?
Favorite thing to do? Oh, banana milk. You just blend bananas and milk together and drink that as a smoothie. Was my favorite when I was a kid.
Interesting. Matt, do you have a banana preference? These are all going to be favorite questions because I'm dumb.
I like chocolate covered bananas.
That is pretty good.
That is good.
Did y'all ever try Yonanas? We need 18 more dollars to keep the show, to reset the timer. Did you ever try
like
Yonanas?
What that could possibly be. I don't know what it is, and I don't like what it is.
It was a special kind of blender it was like a cone with blades on it, and you would push bananas down into it, but you froze the bananas ahead of time, and it would basically turn it into, like, it kind of seemed like soft serve.
What's the difference between that and any other blender?
Probably, I mean, the shape of it and the way it distributed it through a spigot, so it actually came out kind of like soft serve, would have been it. Ooh, right. Saved by the bell. Well done. We'll reset it for a full 60 seconds. We need another $96 to reset the timer again once we get down to zero. Yeah, go ahead.
By the way, if they hadn't done like favorite all-time albums, it's like if somebody was like, "Oh, who are your favorites right now?" Let me tell you straight up: Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, Billie Eilish. And I was so excited that if Kamala won, we would have, I mean, this has been, you know, there's Charlie XCX and Dua Lipa and others as well, and Taylor, obviously. There's this monumental, just women taking over popular music right now. And I was like, can you imagine if Kamala Harris gets elected, the kind of inaugural ball we could have, and how, you know, the entirety of the Grammys this year could just be like pro women. And instead of teaching women a good message, I'm going to go with my favorite easy latest meme, which is we taught boys that they can rape, cheat, and lie and still be the most powerful person on the world.
Yeah, that was some sad shit.
Truth.
All right, well, it looks like
and
that's
on that
where
sad fucking note,
ending tonight. Yeah, no shit. It looks like that's where we're ending, because we did not get over 11,300, which is too bad, because then the next question I was going to ask is, what's your favorite smell that's not considered a traditionally pleasant smell?
Vinegar.
Well, now you just gave it away. They didn't pay for it.
I'll change it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So now you all don't really know. Everybody, please be back here tomorrow at 2:00 and come see the game, say what we're doing, and bring your donating wallet with you. It's going to be a fun time. Matt and Forrest, any final words?
I'll be on with Austin Archer at, I think, 7 p.m. Central, I believe. Austin, myself, and there's a third person, but I didn't check the schedule. So whoever that person is, I'm sure is going to be great. And then also, again, if there's an SSA in Tulsa, hit me up, because I want to do more cool stuff for you guys, and you're amazing, and we need more organizations like you to give atheists and secularists a safe place to be, especially here in the buckle of the Bible Belt. So if I can come do a cool presentation for Tulsa Community College, I've done them before, I'll do them again, and I'll continue to enjoy it.
I love you guys, and I mean that for Forrest and Jimmy, but also the entire community that we built here at the line. Even if we didn't raise another dollar, I would still love you guys. But I know we're going to raise more. We're going to meet this goal. The line is going to have raised $100,000 before the end of the year for organizations that are well worthy and much needed, and needed more and more every day. As Project 2025 and Christian nationalism take over, even if it's just in small doses, secular students are going to have a harder time next year than they had this year. And we need to do something to try to make sure that we can ease that difficulty and make the next generation of secular activists today.
So I'm going to game the system here a little bit. We're going to end on this question that Chris White sent in. I wasn't going to do it because it seemed like a whole lot, but I've realized how to game the system. Chris White asked $200 if you can guess my favorite, second favorite, and least favorite host on the line. Those three are on right now. Now, I hope you mean favorite, second favorite, and third favorite, not least favorite of all of the line, that your first and second.
I want to go with least.
He said least.
Okay, well, then it's me. Anyway.
I know how are we going to do it? Because I know what my predictions are.
Well, here's what I think we should do. Because they said.
I know what my prediction is.
They said the three are on right now. 100, only 100 if you only get 2 right, 55 for 1 right, and 20 for a complete miss. Now, here's the thing I'm thinking. If all of us start with a different person, we get at least the 1 right. So if I say your favorite is, Forrest, Matt, Jimmy, and then Forrest says Matt, like, as long as the 3 of us change who we say the first one is, let's just see real quick. Forrest and Matt, who are you going to guess was the first person? Is it at least different?
Forrest.
Matt.
Okay, then I'll start with Jimmy. And now we're at least going to get the $55. What do you mean?
I'm just teasing you.
Okay, the system works. I think it works. Anyway, so I'm going to say, on the off chance that it is me, is your favorite, I would then say your second favorite. Man, I could go either way with this. I'd say your second favorite is Matt, and your least favorite is Forrest. That seems like the most.
That's reasonable.
Yeah,
except for the fact that you're the favorite. I was thinking me, Matt, Jimmy.
I am all I wanted to do was cover our losses and make sure that we guaranteed the $55 instead of that $20 one. So I'm going.
And all I wanted was for all of us to make predictions with different top 2, and I'll put Jimmy on the bottom, because that would be very funny.
Okay, but watch how red your face gets if he tells you I'm his favorite. He won't.
So I mean, mine was Forrest is his favorite, Jimmy's his second favorite, and I'm the least favorite. That's mine.
All right, go ahead, Forrest.
I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna say Matt, Jimmy, Forrest in that order.
Matt, Jimmy, Forrest. All right, so you've got Jimmy. I said Jimmy, Matt, Forrest. You said Matt, Jimmy, Forrest, and you said Forrest, Jimmy, Matt. Those are your combinations. And I'm actually like interested to hear what the correct answer is and see if how many we got, because it looks like we also we could have done this even smarter. We could have guaranteed 2, I think. We could have done, but instead we have JMF for the number 1, so all 3 covered. We could have then done MJF, and we could have gotten 2 right. If we could have gotten all 3 if it doesn't have to be perfect. If any of us got the first one right, that's a win. Second one right, that's a win. Oh, that's sweet. There's a couple of people pretending I'm their favorite.
Jimmy is my favorite of the 3 of us. Not of everybody. Just of the 3 of us, Jimmy is my favorite. Forrest is my second favorite.
Yeah, let me tell you all why.
I have this meme in my head where Matt has been doing this for like 20 years on a bunch of different channels, and so he's like the guy, and then I'm this squirrel that just got his way in here and is like loose in the house. And then Jimmy, all I know of your popularity is all of the hilarious comments where you're like, some people, we gotta fire this Jimmy Snow. Whoever runs the lines got to get rid of Jimmy Snow. That is the meme in my head of everything that I know about you on this channel. And so like, that's how I've got this.
As far as individual channels go, I think I have the largest individual channel.
You certainly do, which makes it even funnier to me.
Yeah, it is funnier.
I wonder which of us has the video with the most views and the channel. Like, how many subscribers have you got, Jimmy? Because I'm going to claim Atheist Experience subscribers since that shit was my work.
I capped at 400K, and then not uploading for a year lost me about 50.
I don't know how many subscribers they have anymore, but I'll take that one.
I've got
probably 4 or 5.
Add the line to mine.
I mean, no, it's fine.
Okay.
But I don't know, because there's like a video out there. Like, so I mean, you know, I got a TikTok that's got 250,000 views, which is nothing compared to what Forrest does when he sneezes.
Well, does it matter are we counting only YouTube subscribers, or is it like
no? I think you would
so
win.
Embarrassed. He finally gave his answer. Guess what it was?
What's his answer?
Jimmy, Forrest, Matt.
Wrong.
It was
and
all
he's wrong.
Yeah. And he's wrong. I agree. But thank you very much.
I really want the clarification. Am I genuinely, and I'm not going to get bothered, I don't care. Am I genuinely their least favorite out of all the hosts on the channel, or just of the 3 of us? I kind of want to know that.
I feel like that was driving me crazy before, but now that you've heard the answer, yeah.
Is he crying for an hour or all night? How's it going to be?
I cry either way, but I genuinely want to know.
I love this. Sparrow said, Jimmy is the best part of the best, worst parts of the show.
The ACA has 418,000 subscribers.
Wow. Yeah.
But
with the most recent video still being one of, with you on the thumbnail, Forrest.
Sorry.
Well, Forrest still does stuff over there. That's not that crazy.
Are we going to get an answer?
I fucking hate their new thumbnails of me. They took pictures of me last time I was down there, and the lighting was weird. And so their thumbnails of me, my eye bags are bagging. Also, I had just gotten back from fucking the craziest summer. I was in different countries and all over this country, and like I was exhausted. So I'm in the wrinkliest shirt I've ever worn with the deepest eye bags anyone's ever seen, and that is the thumbnails of me now. And
I have a solution.
Insane.
I have a solution for that. You could quit doing their shows.
One could. They had the opportunity to work with a phenomenal photographer who would have done all their work for free.
We're not going to find out if I'm the most hated, am I?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, Chris, we just want to know if it was the third
I'll hate
or
you,
the
buddy,
third
if it makes that much.
us.
It means
I
something.
will say, with it being, first of all, it being the 3 of us, I doubt you're the least, because I feel like the three of us have elements of each other within each other. Okay.
I think it's funny that tonight,
if you come down to Austin and put my element in you, Jimmy.
If you go back and look at tonight, because I've been paying more attention to certain things because I'm going to be making some changes. But if you go back and watch the entire show tonight and you were to read through chat, Forrest was the first one to yell. And before I had actually yelled at anybody, and after I explained that I just had all of my teeth removed, except for 3 or 4, I have a sty, I have a rash, and all this other stuff. Somebody in chat decided to say grumpy Matt. It's like, no matter what's happening in my life, no matter what good reason there is, even when I haven't done any, even when I have good reason to be grumpy, Forrest still gets to yell and nobody gives a shit, but I'm the grumpy one. Go fuck yourself, Schmegley.
In all fairness, I'm adorable. And also, you did I wanted so bad. I didn't have the mic, but you were talking about like in my normal day-to-day life, you know, I know that on the internet there's this delay and all that stuff. And so like I yell and I'll shut the, but in my normal life, and I wanted so bad to interject, like it's 10 times worse. He's terrible.
He's so mean. Chris says he doesn't dislike you, but yes, you're his least favorite host on the line, it would appear.
Yay!
You got it. You want it.
Nice. I got one of the a comment saying that about me not too long ago on one of the videos that came out. There was somebody complaining that I'm on all these shows now. And like, can we used to have one show without Forrest? And I'm like, I know, right? Jesus Christ, I'm everywhere. It's terrible.
Meanwhile, once a month we call and I ask, all right, what 5-day block do you want to do every show in a row? Literally, that's what we've been doing, these weekend marathons. All right, well, that's it, people. Last chance if you want us to be excited you donated, but we hit 11,532. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
I'm very happy about that.
By the way, that means that I'm the only one that should be talking right now if we switch back to the old rules.
Yeah, we're not switching back to the old rules.
I wouldn't want to switch back either.
The law changes. It's the New Testament.
Wrap us up.
All right. Bye.
Wrap it up.
That's your wrap up.